They can never control us. Running for the prize, raise high for the toast. This is our moment. Always on the grind till the sun come on us. They can never control us. Running for the prize, raise high for the toast. This is our moment. This is our moment. This is our moment. This is our moment. This is our moment.
Let's start at the beginning.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up, yeah. Warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up, yeah. Warm up, 2, warm up, yeah. Warm up, warm up, yeah. Warm up, 1, 2, yeah. Warm up, warm up, yeah. Warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up, yeah. 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 Warm up, 2, yeah. Warm up.
I promise you we're not losing 3 times in a row. Not happening.
Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. We've been on the road from the go. Hit my blow. You know we've been down for too long to give up. Can't go. I need all pesos. Want it all. Case closed.
Takes the handoff, runs it up the middle, and dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Broken Arrow.
But these boys can't hold me. The boys can't hold us. I told you. Better not be the one to doubt us. 'Cause we've been putting in the hour. We only taking what was ours. So you better not be the one to doubt us. 'Cause we gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind.
Just a reminder, there will come a time when they can no longer share a bedroom. That's why we have a complete array of home loans, so that dream of more space can come true. Right on time. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Welcome to Norman, Oklahoma, in the shadows of the University of Oklahoma's Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium. I'm Adam Hildebrand alongside Steve Spavital. Madison Dildine is on the sidelines for you for Broken Arrow football tonight here on ArrowVision. We've just wrapped up the national anthem. Football will be on its way shortly. And Spav, I got a text from some folks over here in the central part of the state yesterday that weren't sure if football would have been playable in the wind conditions. They had wind gusts up to 60 mile an hour here yesterday.
That's right.
It's a little more calm today, and so it's pretty much gorgeous conditions for football. 55 degrees, the sun setting to our left over the western horizon here, and should be a good one here tonight in Norman. Broken Arrow coming off of the big win against Santa Fe last week, now 5-3 on the year, 4-1 in district play. Norman 4-4 and 3-2. Back-to-back games, Spav, against West Side schools here.
Yeah.
And the Tigers looking to pick up another win on the road.
That was a huge win for us last week. That was just such an offensive game. And looking at 9 lead changes, that was one of the most prolific offensive games of the year right there. That was really a nice game and a great win for us. And this is another challenge right here. The wind can be a little challenging at times, I'm sure. Will probably affect a little bit more just on the special teams. But other than that, this is a beautiful night. It's going to be really fun. I know we're missing some players due to injuries and stuff, and that's going to be a factor as well. But hey, you can't worry about injuries. When I was a coach, I didn't even acknowledge injuries. It was just, I didn't want the kids to know well, we've got all these injuries. You know, it was just next man up, let's go. And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, Dietrich Moore and Cade Matthews being a couple of the names that are out tonight. And we talked about this a little bit last week, Spav, for the defense trying to adjust to the situation. But Dietrich Moore going down hurts both physically and on the mental side and in terms of having a cohesive unit. But I talked to Javion Franklin in the middle of the week, and he was talking about how this group on the defensive side in particular has really bonded together over the course of this year. They feel like they're more than football players together. He called them brothers. And that kind of cohesiveness is certainly something that can help you even in losing a big guy in the middle.
No doubt, no doubt. And you could really see that as the year went on. It was like at the beginning they were unsure of what to expect and what to do. And then, you know, everything's just grown better, and you can see it on the field. It's difficult when you have all these injuries, though, and all these kids that are out. What makes it tough is you're preparing for the playoffs, and when you prepare for the playoffs, you want your kids to get better, and they get better via practicing. It's not, you know, if they're out hurt, they're not practicing. And losing Dietrich Moore was devastating to us. He is such an unbelievable player. He's probably one of the best defensive players I've seen, and probably one of the best in the state. He could play for any team in the state, that's for sure. He's that good. He's that effective. He's got that natural instinct to him. So he's really fun to watch, and he's going to be really missed.
Absolutely. Let's go down to the sideline, and Madison Dildine, who has the coin toss for us. Madison.
Right receiver, senior number 10, Zach Stone. Wide receiver.
No, we had Madison there for a minute. It sounds like her microphone went away.
About
there
how
she is.
something got called, something didn't get called.
Eighth receiver, senior number 21.
Yeah, we're cutting in and out a little bit. I'm guessing that the official has a microphone on that might be messing with our feed down there. So the effort was there from Madison, who went out and bravely introduced herself to the officials this evening. But we have heard from her across the way from us, so we'll be hearing from her at various points of the night here as we go throughout the evening. And Spav, you look down at some of the guys currently at the captain stations there for both teams, and the guy that stands out to me for Norman is Viliami Makahunununi.
Yes.
He is their left tackle.
He's a big one,
and he is a big kid. You're looking at, let's see here,
he's
a senior
over
that's
everybody.
6'4", 300, and we were talking about this a minute ago. There's not a lot of you look at that Santa Fe team last week that had all the offensive weapons in the talent positions and the skill positions offensively, but they were lacking some play up front. And one man does not make an entire front line,
no.
But that's a good place to start when you got a left tackle that's 6'4", 300 at the high school level.
Absolutely. But when you find that weak link, football is a team sport, the ultimate team sport. And I'm not saying anything that people don't already know, because all 11 players have to do something has to do their job in order for you to have success. And you can find that weak link. If it's like last week, it was their right tackle. We saw him. We found him. And we were rushing off the edge, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. It really helped. You're going to find the way they protect. You're going to make them protect a certain way, too, but according to how you line up. So they're going to have their protection. So it's going to be fun to see how we do that.
Let's go down to the sideline again, and Madison Dildine, who was out there for the coin toss. Her microphone was getting interrupted at the time, but we'll bring her in now. Madison, looks like the Tigers may be getting the ball to start things off.
Yeah, guys, Norman won the toss and chose to defer, guys.
All right, so Madison Dildine able to do some miniature play-by-play, so to speak, for us down there on the sidelines, which is certainly incredibly helpful, and she'll be our eyes and ears down on the far sideline throughout the course of the evening. Here come the Broken Arrow Tigers onto the field. White jerseys, white pants, black helmets tonight. The sledgehammer being brought out with them as, who is that? That is Joshua Wilhite carrying the hammer today. Norman will join Broken Arrow on the field momentarily. It's a battle of Tigers here in Norman tonight.
That's right.
Norman orange and black. Broken Arrow, of course, black and gold. And we're just a few minutes away now from kickoff. Now, you mentioned some of the offensive battle last week, Spav, and this is a Broken Arrow offense that has been getting better and better. In particular, last week, on third down. 8 of 13. That's 61.5% on third down for the Tigers last week. That's an area that Broken Arrow has struggled this year, and so I think now you'd really like to see them build off of that third down performance last week, see if they can do it 2 weeks in a row and start to set more of a trend.
I agree, because, our first down efficiency's been very good. And, we're averaging 6-point-something yards per first down, which is great, and that's what you want. We should be better in our third down conversions, and that's something we've got to highlight tonight. We need to highlight as far as getting turnovers. I think it's +0. We're +0 in turnovers, and that's a huge factor on winning games, because if you can win the turnover battle, you're going to win 73% of your games. So that's an important factor, and that's what we needed the other night. The difference there of the game that we had with Santa Fe was two great offenses, and the defense were struggling a little bit, mainly due to injuries. But the difference was no one had any turnovers really, and that turnover battle never allowed you to lean for one team to the other because of that. So it's important to have those turnover battles.
The lights flashing here in Norman as the Tigers of Norman come onto the field and get a little bit of a light show going on with these newfangled lights that they are putting into all these stadiums nowadays. They'll flash and strobe and all those other things when they want them to. Now, you mentioned the turnovers being even on the year. What's a little bit of an anomaly with that is opponents have outscored Broken Arrow in points off of turnovers 48-27 over the course of the season. You usually don't see that having that big of a spread when the turnover numbers are so even.
Well, and a lot of it is the field position of where that turnover came about. Where we're having a turnover back in our end, things of that nature really helps a team score on that. But and that's something we got to work on too, is finishing drives. We need to, and we've been doing a good job with that lately too. We have to finish our drives, and that you got to win that battle. That's a battle too, finishing your drive battle. And again, you're going to win 75% of your games if you win that battle.
In Broken Arrow last week, 7 for 7 scoring when they got into the red zone, 5 for 7 touchdowns when they got into the red zone. That's far and away better than what it's been this year.
Right.
I mean, the red zone scoring percentage went up 7% after that last game, and having that number increase like that this late in the year, that means you had a lot of success in that game.
Because, see, what you need to average is 3.5 points a trip in the red zone. If you average that, you're going to win a lot of your games.
Daw Atchison and Marion Horner back to receive for the Broken Arrow Tigers. Again, Norman won the toss, elected to defer. And so it is Broken Arrow back to receive the kickoff in the west end. This Norman High School splits this football field with Norman North. So the Norman North Timberwolves logo is in the end zone behind the Tigers where they'll receive. And they'll be going towards the Norman Tigers end zone. It's an onside kick that didn't really get the bounce that Norman was hoping for. It rolls out to the 34-yard line, and it's covered up there by Derek Osmond. That's where the Tigers will start out 1st and 10.
That was interesting. I mean, were they – is that
I'm
against
not sure
the wind?
It was. Yeah, it is against the wind a little bit. It's kind of a northwestern wind tonight.
Yes. Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you kick it out of bounds, you're going to get on 35 anyway. So, and a lot of your high on sides are about that too. So
Broken Arrow takes over 1st and 10 from its own 34-yard line, moving left to right, the ball in the right hash. That's the near hash for us up here in the press box. Split out to the right is R.J. Spears-Jennings along with Griffin Stieber. Here's the snap. Ramsey wants to throw, lobs it near side, caught by Stieber at the 40-yard line. He runs through a man at the 45 and tumbles down to the 47, maybe even the 48-yard line. A nice gain on 1st and 10.
Well, you knew it was going to be a pass or a run with the quarterback, but Stieber being in number 2 into the boundary just ran it out, and they just ran a fade out. Nice combination.
Josh McMillan split left. Here comes Atchison. Check that. That's Horn into motion in the backfield. They give it to him on the jet sweep. He's across midfield and knocked out of bounds around the 41-yard line of Norman. That'll be another first down on the gain of 11 on the first touch for Marion Horn. Marion Horn has been absolutely ridiculous in the last couple of weeks.
You're right.
He's got 50 carries for 481 yards and 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games.
Unbelievable.
One receiver split to either side. Horn takes the draw straight up the middle this time. Not a lot of room, but he's finding some room as he runs through a man at the 37-yard line. He's brought down just inside the 35, or perhaps at the 35-yard line, a gain of 6.
Right, his helmet came off. Looks like he's going to have to come off the field.
This might be the only time he comes off the field all night,
Yeah, that's one of those little draw sticks. You're looking for the stick route, and if the backer stays out, then you're going to run the draw. So this is a great combination.
Kyrie Harris into the backfield for the Tigers. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Here's the snap. They hand it off to Harris, looking to turn the corner on the right side, inside the 30-yard line, first down yardage, and he stumbles and is brought down around the 20. That's another good gain for the Tigers on the ground. They mark him out clear down to the 18-yard line, but there are 2 flags at the point of attack back at the 32.
Yeah, we got a hold on the edge, and it looked like last time we ran the boundary over here, we got away with a hold, and I could see that the white hat really eyeballing it, and he decided not to call it, and this time he did.
And that'll back the Tigers up 10 yards. We'll see which flag they mark it from. One was on the 32, one was on the 34, and they'll mark it off from the 34-yard line. So that'll push the ball back to the 44. It'll be 2nd down and 13 from there.
Ball back to the Norman 44-yard line. It'll be 2nd down for Broken Arrow.
2 receivers left. Something's up. There's 2 guys on the line of scrimmage, it looks like, on that left side. They hand it off to Spears Jennings on the jet sweep left side. He is able to evade 1 tackler, but then he's swarmed. Still gains a couple. Almost back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
You know, we had the numbers out there too, and they just, they defended that well.
Yeah.
I felt like when looking at the pre-alignment, we had the numbers there because we had that slot, we had the unbalanced look, and plus we had 2 receivers out there. I thought we had that.
3rd down and 11. 2 receivers split right. Spears Jennings alone on the left side, outside the numbers on the short side of the field. Sterling Ramsey, 21 for 27 for 251 yards and 2 scores through the air last week. Facing a passing situation here on 3rd and long, takes the snap, fakes a handoff, zips it to the left side. It's caught by Spears Jennings, makes 1 man miss, but then he's ankle tackled. It's a gain of about 4 down to the 38-yard line, but I suspect this is 4-down territory here for the Tigers.
Yeah, I like that play too. That's just that little one receiver jailbreak route, pulling that tackle out there real quick for the kick out. So, I mean, you got to tackle him or he's gone.
3rd down and a long 7 here for Broken Arrow. The offense remains on the field. Looks like that's Logan Goins split right. In the slot is Spears Jennings right side. Running back right.
Quarterback. Oh, he punted it. Okay.
It's a pooch kick, and it's not a very long punt. Hits at the 22-yard line and does take a Tiger hop. It's marked out at, well, right inside the 20-yard line, so not a lot of yardage gain there, but not bad.
No,
that'll bring down the punting average, though, of Griffin Stieber, who is averaging nearly 40 yards a punt.
Yes, I know. But that was a good call to try to pooch it down there because it's early. We don't know about their offense. If we have a good feel of their offense, then we'll be able to go for those.
Well, what we do know of their offense is they're led by Tyus McClarty, the quarterback, who's 60 for 125 on the year. So they don't ask him to throw it just a ton, but he throws it for about 100 yards a game.
Yeah, and they unbalanced it.
Handoff left side, not a ton of running room. He's swarmed immediately and brought down for about a 2-yard gain out near the 21-yard line.
Right.
That was Devin Alexander on the carry.
Well, you can see they had trips, and they brought the tight end. They shifted the tight end over and made it an unbalanced look, tight end and the 3 receivers on the same side.
Now they switch it to the far side, so they got 3 receivers right on the wide side of the field.
Now this running back has a tendency to kind of glide and just kind of hover a little bit until he finds that opening instead of like sticking it and getting it where it needs to be.
9 minutes to play first quarter, a scoreless ball game. 2nd down and 8 here for Norman. They fake the handoff. This time it's McClarty carrying it himself, breaks a tackle across the 30-yard line. First down yardage. He's tripped up, then hit at the 40 and brought down out at the 43-yard line. A big game from McClarty, the quarterback. That's certainly in his game. He's the leading rusher for the Norman Tigers. Over 1,300 yards on the year, and he breaks one there.
Well, he broke the tackle, and that was what he did because, it was just one of those stretch, quarterback keep, pulling a backside lineman in there, making a good play, and we missed the tackle, and he can run.
More on Tyus McClarty's running ability in just a moment. A tight end to either side of this formation. 1st and 10 for Norman from its own 43. Here's a snap. They hand it off. Alexander trying the left side. He's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Manages to dive forward. He lost the ball, but he was marked down first. He got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. If you're asking yourself at home, which do the Norman Tigers prefer, throwing the ball or running the ball? Well, McClarty certainly prefers to run it. He's thrown it 125 times this year, run it 180. He is the team's leading rusher, and he has 7 games of more than 100 yards rushing this season. The rest of the team has 6 of those combined. He's also scored 19 touchdowns on the ground compared to throwing 5 in the air. Well, they gave him an extra yard on that somehow. 2nd and 9.
See, we're unbalancing it again.
4 receivers essentially right. They handed off straight up the middle to Alexander, wrapped up around the ankles and brought down for a gain of about 3, just past the 46-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down at about 6.
See, they're having more success by doing that than trying to get on the perimeter. We're really handling the perimeter very well.
There's a player wearing number 12. Number 12 on the roster is Ashton Chavez, who's listed as a defensive back, but that player is playing a linebacker. We might have to have Madison Dildine give us some inside information there, because I suspect that's a jersey swap for somebody.
Yes.
2 tight ends, 2 receivers right on 3rd and 7. They hand it off to Alexander, tried to bounce it outside. He's hit and slid down sideways, maybe a gain of a yard out to about the 47.5. It'll bring up 4th down and 5. Javion Franklin came up to make the stop.
You know, what a great job of adjustments, because they took both tight ends and put them over to the 3 receiver side and really made it unbalanced, and we took care of it.
And Javion Franklin led the team in tackles last week with against UConn. 13, 10 of those were solo stops.
They actually going for this?
They've got the offense on the field. The
well,
quarterback, McClarty,
steps
back. They're going to punt it away.
There you go.
Snap was a little high and wobbly, but it's a good kick off the right foot of McClarty. Hits at the 15 and bounces nearly straight up in the air. And then it was caught out of the air by Eric Lambert. I honestly thought he probably should have let that bounce again and see if it would keep rolling.
I was thinking the same thing.
In any case, it's a pretty good punt. And the Tigers will take over inside the 15-yard line with 6:20 to play in the first quarter. Let's go down to the Madison Dildine on the sidelines. Madison?
Yeah, guys, I was just able to listen in to Coach Gorman with the tight ends, and he said, you got to get your right hand out of there. That's what got you that hold. We need to bring our own energy because there's not much here, guys.
Yeah, it's a good point. You can see that. And we can't have those holds on the perimeter, because that's our job. That's our game. I mean, that's what we do well.
Well, and that's something that we dished out so much praise for last week to that tight end group in particular, and how those guys were able to set the edge. 1st and 10 Tigers. A carry for Marion Horn out to about the 16-yard line. Give them 3 on the play, bringing up 2nd down and 7.
Well, he was close breaking that. He surfed that thing and cut it back.
There have been a few plays where the Tigers have gotten 4 yards, and they're about 2 steps away from getting to break 50 or 60 yards.
Exactly, especially when number 5 has his hands on the ball.
Steve motions to the left side. Here's the snap, hand off to Horn. Working it
right
up the middle. Across the 20-yard line, breaks a tackle to the 25. There's a flag down. He's out past the 30-yard line. I am wondering, though, his head turned when he broke that tackle. I'm wondering if he might have got caught in the face with a face mask there.
It could be. I agree.
Because you could see his head turn left.
Right. And that was the counter play. We ran the counter, and it just opened up like you wouldn't believe.
It was there. It opened up right at us, too. Let's listen in.
You're right. Absolutely. Good look.
Well, that'll tack on a little
Good
extra
call.
at the end of Marion Horn's run, and that'll get the Tigers, who started this drive inside their own 15, all the way out past the 40-yard line to the 46. Tigers are on the move here.
I like what we're doing here. We're doing things differently each series now.
The counter working in early. We'll see if they go back to it here. 2 receivers left. Ramsey wants to throw it, now tucks it, moving to his right, dumps it off underneath, caught by Stever at the 50.
Good job.
He is
5-yard gain.
Dropped forward for, again, 5 yards, bring up 2nd down and 5.
Just a great combination we're doing out here in the boundary. The boundary is an area where a lot of people don't attack it like they should. And Coach Blankenship does a good job attacking the boundary.
So far, Sterling Ramsey 5 for 5 for 36 yards. a couple of those runs early in the game were actually passes because they were forward pitches. Ramsey takes the snap. He's immediately under pressure, spins backwards. He somehow dumps it off to Griffin Stieber, who's able to get back to the 47, maybe the 48-yard line. He lost 3, but it was going to be a loss of about 8 on the play. That's a pretty impressive play.
Well, that's about 13 yards. That's about a 13-yard difference from where he threw it. That's awesome.
How about Sterling Ramsey having the wherewithal to be able to keep his eyes up and find a receiver there? It looks like maybe they were trying to set up the tight end screen there.
I know, and that's what he just needed time. They may screen it now.
3rd down and 8 for Broken Arrow from its own 48-yard line. Here's a snap. Ramsey wants to throw, has more time, zings it left. It's behind the intended target. He was looking for Spears-Jennings. Incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down and 8. We'll see if the offense stays on and they decide to pooch it again, or if they just send the punt team on.
That just seemed to be right there in that last series there. Just seemed to be it was our fault. They weren't stopping us. It was just our fault.
Punt team's on the field, and Griffin Stieber is back there. We actually haven't seen him in the punt formation in the last couple of weeks. But he came into the game averaging 40 yards a kick almost. Along a 55 on the year. Snap is back. The kick is away. It's a nice spiraling punt. Very good punt inside the 20-yard line. It bounces sideways down to the 15 and takes a spin and rolls all the way down to the 14-yard line. Very good punt from Stieber and the Broken Arrow Tigers.
Well, that guy, I thought he was going to try and field it even though he let it drop.
Well, and then I thought for a moment that a Tiger might run into him because he had stepped up a little bit. I need to specify. I thought a Broken Arrow Tiger might run into him. The brochure said there wouldn't be this many Tigers. 1st and 10 Norman from its own 14-yard line, moving right to left. Still no score in the game. 4:14 to play in the first quarter. 2 receivers left on the wide side of the field. Tyus McClarty in the shotgun. Takes a snap, hands it out to Alexander. Trying the left side, breaks a tackle. Then he's hit by a couple of defenders. He's brought down for a gain of, we'll call it 3.5 out near the 18-yard line.
Do we figure out who that number 12 linebacker is yet?
We have not.
But he just made a great play.
He did.
Whoever he is, number 12 playing linebacker just made a great play there. Because that could have been for a big gainer right there.
We'll see if we can get some inside information from Madison Dildine down on the sidelines. Yeah, Max Barnes usually wears 18. I don't think that's him. 2nd down and 7. Here's the snap. Alexander with a lot less room this time. He's hit in the backfield at the 15 and pushed backwards. They mark him down at the 16, so it's a loss of about a yard.
Just great play, getting penetration.
Brings up 3rd down and 8. And there, you mentioned penetration. The Tigers were in the backfield immediately on that play.
But it was the D-line that was penetrating. That's what you want to do. The D-line needs to try to get a pass rush without blitzing.
Especially with your starting middle linebacker out, the more those guys have success up front, even if they're not getting to running backs, the better those linebackers will be able to play behind them. Motion from left to right from Cooper Alexander, the tight end. Here's a snap, flag down, the pocket collapses, and McClarty goes down for a sack back at the 12-yard line, but I'm concerned, Spav, that might have been a Tiger in the neutral zone on the snap there.
Oh, gosh, I hope not, because that was just such a...
Ellis Tomlin got to the quarterback first and got the sack. Will it hold up?
I mean, this guy doesn't even have time to throw the football, and we're not even blitzing.
Oh, illegal formation on Norman for 5 men in the backfield.
Good.
So the Tigers will decline that penalty, and the sack holds up for Ellis Tomlin. That's his first sack of the year, and the Tigers force a punt.
That was his first sack?
That was his first sack of the season.
Oh, my gosh. And we've about had him 3 times already.
No. Ellis Tomlin's first sack of the season.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, no.
I got you. I'm like.
I'm confident McClarty has gone down at this point.
Yeah. That's why I asked you.
The punt team is on. Zach Stone is the punter, and he's going to stand about 3 yards deep in his own end zone.
We got a lot of people in the box. Let's see.
Snap is back, moving to his left. Stone punts it away. It's a wobbly kick heading towards the near sideline. It hits at the 40 and stays in bounds briefly. And it goes out of bounds now right at the 40-yard line. So the Tigers will start in plus territory here against Norman for the first time tonight. Broken Arrow looking to put some points on the board. It's still scoreless with 2:43 remaining in the first.
So we just found out number 12 is, I just got a text, number 12 is Austin Newell.
Austin Newell, okay. So the backup quarterback, Austin Newell, moving over into a linebacker spot. That sounds about right. He's listed at 6'2", 174 on the roster, and that looks like about the right size.
And the kid's made about 3 or 4 plays already, and I just love watching him play. Great field position.
Marion Horn with the carry straight up the middle, now bouncing it right, makes a man miss across the 30-yard line. He's down to around the 25, and that's a big 15-yard gain on 1st and 10 for Marion Horn.
Just surfing the play there in a split zone, just surfing it down there, making a great play.
Griffin Stieber is in at quarterback. Jeremy Bryan, check that, he's at tight end. He was standing where the quarterback would stand, now he moves over to tight end. Sterling Ramsey still the quarterback. He continues to throw it well, 6 for 7 on the night. Tyus McClarty has not actually attempted a pass. Here's a snap on 1st and 10. Hand off to Horn, spins off one tackler. Now is hit from the side and brought down after a gain of about 1 down to the 24. Marion Horn has carried the ball now 5 times for 40 yards on the night.
God, already. We've just got 2 minutes left in the first quarter. But he's going to have a lot more.
I was going to say, he's yet to really break one, and I get the sense that's coming.
See, if they didn't have they had a little penetration with the D-line there. Otherwise, he would have went to the second level, and of course, I'd give my chances to Marion on that.
2nd down and 9. Another handoff to Horn, trying the left side this time. Cuts it back up inside of a would-be tackler, and now he's hit sideways and brought down at the 21. A gain of 3 on the play. Brings up 3rd down and about 6. Seth Wishon, the middle linebacker, on the tackle for the Tigers. Spears Jennings will split out right.
The thing we're missing a little bit is the quarterback run game.
We've not seen it yet tonight. Here's 3rd down and 6. A long 6 at that. Ball on the left hash. Broken Arrow moving left to right. 1:05 to play before the end of the first quarter.
Tried to freeze count, didn't work.
Here's the snap. Rolling to his right. Ramsey spins away from a tackler. Still in trouble. Now sprinting to his right. Tucks the ball. Splits defenders. And he's got a 1st down inside the 15. Brought down around the 12. There's that quarterback run game, Spav.
Well, it wasn't planned, but I'm thankful of it.
I tell you what, though, what was impressive to me about that run was Ramsey was kind of bottled up, was able to make an athletic move to get out of the pocket. But then when he did decide to tuck it and run, he went from 0 to 60 and nothing flat.
Right. He knew where the 1st down point was.
1st and 10 from the 13 is where they mark it. A handoff to Horn. He's hit immediately in the backfield. Ray Holman, the defensive end, came around untouched. It's a loss of about 3 back to the 16-yard line. So there was some confusion up front somewhere because he came free, untouched. Right into the teeth of where the run was supposed to be.
Well, I thought the quarterback was going to pull it, and he didn't. So
it could have been a misread.
Yes.
3 receivers bunched to the left side. Stieber leading the way in the arrow formation. But we'll see if the Tigers return to that formation in a moment. We're through a quarter in a scoreless ball game so far. The Tigers threatening, though, inside Norman's red zone. We'll take a break, flip the field around, and be back with more in just a moment. This is Broken Arrow Tiger football on ArrowVision.
It just seems like we're...
Put your life on hold, and we're with you in this. At Ascension St. John, we're now open for appointments, and we are fully prepared for your safety in our care. As we open our doors again, our doctors, nurses, and care teams will continue to wear personal protective equipment. We've taken even more steps to clean and stringently disinfect all areas. We will maintain distancing in our waiting rooms and will continue to limit visitors. And we will still screen all staff to protect their health and yours. Our emergency rooms are here 24/7. Please do not delay care. We're still delivering babies and performing surgeries. And we're open for your appointments. From specialists and surgical care to routine care and health screenings. Ask us about virtual visits. Ascension St. John continues to care for you, as we have been for almost a century. Thank you for trusting us.
Stop by
Welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. Adam Hildebrandt, Steve Spavital, Madison Dildine with you as we head towards the start of the second quarter. In a scoreless football game, we take a look at some of the numbers. Spav, Marion Horn, along of 15 so far. He's carried the ball 7 times for 40 yards. Sterling Ramsey has thrown 6 passes, thrown 7 and completed 6 of them for 33. A few of those just forward pitches. But so far, got tied up a little bit there. It seems like the Tigers have been in control of this game, Spav, but just haven't been able to quite break through yet.
Exactly. I mean, we've been down on this end of the field the whole game.
Second down and 13 from the Norman 16. A handoff to Marion Horn, trying the right side, splits a couple of defenders inside the 10-yard line. He's stacked up there. Brought down around the 8. Oh, and a very late flag comes in.
It's been getting kind of chippy out there. You can see that. But he just finds that opening. I just love watching him run.
He changed directions about 4 times
I
on that
know,
run.
he just finds it.
Let's see what the official says here.
Oh, it's a
personal foul against Norman.
Good.
Well, that'll be an automatic first down for the Tigers. The ball was marked down, it looks like around the 7, even though we're at a tough angle, so that would put it down around the 3.5-yard line.
Right.
So Broken Arrow really knocking on the doorstep here. Spears Jennings split left. Stever in the slot left side. He's already been active in the passing game today. One receiver split right as well. I think that might be Logan Goins. Stever motions into the formation now, a tight end on either side. Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle to Marion Horn. Bounces off a tackle left side. He's hit again, stacked up and pushed backwards. He got about a half yard down to the 3-yard line. Oh boy, this official's marking him clear back at the 4. Oh my goodness. I don't know about that.
Well, that was a counter, running a counter, which was a good call. I really feel like it was a good call.
They're saying it's 4th down and 1. Was that not an automatic first down?
No,
on the personal foul?
It was 3rd and 1. That's a good point. I don't know why it wasn't.
I thought it was supposed to be an automatic first down. Interesting.
I did too.
Well, it's 4th and 1 for the Tigers. And they need about a yard. Ball on the 4. They're going sugar huddle. 2 receivers split out right. That's Fox and Spears Jennings.
I like that name.
Sprinting to the line. And now a timeout called from the Broken Arrow sideline. Coach Blankenship didn't like what he saw from the Norman defense. There's not a lot of rhythm yet in this game, Spec.
No, there's not. It just seems like we're just playing so well offensively, and then all of a sudden we just make a few little key blocking mistakes or something, and it's just like we shoot ourselves in the foot. It's not them stopping us. It's just us.
Yeah, for the most part, it's been one guy who's allowed to come free and kind of making the drive tough at that point.
Because they're doing a good job penetrating their defense. They're doing a good job on that. Now we have to compensate for us. Now the last time we ran the counter, which I thought was a good play. You know, we brought Stever in tight. He was split out wide. We brought him in tight to help, block the end man on the line of scrimmage so we can wrap the 2 people underneath. And we had him, but we just missed the block. We didn't maintain the block.
Before 4th down and 1, again, there was a personal foul, but it was not an automatic first down.
It's like Jeremy was saying, it's probably a dead ball
because
foul.
It's a dead ball foul.
I guess.
And I could be wrong. I don't know the rule books, super well, but I was under the impression that any personal foul was an automatic first down.
Yeah.
4th down and 1. Stever under center. He takes a snap, dives onto the top of the pile, and sticks the ball out. He should have plenty enough for a first down. They're marking him down at the 2. That'll bring up 1st down and goal.
Quarterback sneak for Broken Arrow has a first down.
Great job.
That seems like that would be a little bit of a challenge, possibly as a I mean, you're in the field as a tight end, so it's not like he's coming off the bench cold, but to
I
just
know.
walk up under center, having not taken a snap in the game, and just snap it and go.
From a tight end position.
1st and goal from the 2. Sterling Ramsey back in at quarterback. Hands it off to Marion Horn, straight at the middle. He runs into a wall, bounces off of it, hit again, pushed sideways, and eventually he falls backwards for a loss of about half a yard, and that is not something that we've seen very often. That we've seen a few times in this game is Marion Horn going backwards. Spav coming into this game, Horn had rushed for 589 yards. He'd only gone backwards for 6 yards. So there's something different going on where Norman is able to get some penetration up front and hit him early.
And that's a good point. That means perimeter to me. We need to get on the perimeter. We're having difficulty blocking their penetration. Not that we can't score up the middle, but
not seeing as many edge runs, as we've seen recently.
Nice.
Here's a pass. It's too high, incomplete. They tried the pop pass to the tight end Will Height, but there was too much on it. Brings up 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, it looked like he just rushed it a little bit.
Rushed it, and there was not a huge window to throw it into.
No. Now we got to punch it in here. We got to just do what we can do.
3rd down and goal from the 3. Still a scoreless ball game. 2 tight ends motion from left to right.
We may have it here on the perimeter.
Here's the snap. Hand off to Marion Horn. Big gap. Lowers his shoulder. Cuts it up. Dives towards the end zone. And he is in. Touchdown, Broken Arrow. And now a flag comes in late on the play. The touchdown will stand either way. There is definitely some chatter going on down there between the two teams as Marion Horn was just able to get into the end zone. 6-0 Tigers, and it took that started with a 4th down play. The quarter started with a 4th down play, if I remember correctly, or no, it was 3rd down. But already we've seen 2 minutes and 20 seconds run off the clock in the quarter.
I know.
The Tigers moved the ball about 7 yards in that time span.
We've been running the football. We've been doing a good job. It's just they're doing a good job of clogging the middle up. They've got a lot of people in the box.
I was looking down. Did you see who that call went against?
No, it's against them.
Okay, and they said it would be assessed on the kickoff. So Martin's on for the PAT. 30 of 31 on the season. 6-0 Broken Arrow. Snap back, ball down, kick on its way. And it is good.
Good.
7-0 Broken Arrow as the Broken Arrow Tigers strike first.
Right. And we needed that. We've been dominating the whole quarter I shouldn't say dominating, but we've been inside the 50-yard line this whole quarter and a half here.
Was that the same drive that started on the 40-yard line after the punt? I think it was.
Yes.
Boy, let's take a look here. That was an 11-play, 40-yard drive that took 5 minutes off the clock.
Isn't that awesome? I mean, I love drives like that. That's just good football.
So when I was playing middle school football, oh man, who was the Tulsa coach? Rader.
Dave Rader.
Dave Rader. His brother, Derek, was my coach in middle school. I played with his son, and they always told us just get 4 yards of play. If we get 4 yards of play, we'll never have to punt, and you'll do everything. That was about 4 yards of play on that drive. 11 plays for 40 yards. It was
That's good.
Pretty much 3.5 yards in a cloud of dust on that drive. The Tigers will get to kick from Norman's 45-yard line.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they elect to do something different here. You might as well try a high onside or something like that. You got the field advantage at this point.
Well, we're playing good defense, so I'm not so sure you don't try an onside.
It's teed up for Caleb Young, the senior kicker, ready to put his right foot into it. Again, ball on the Norman 45 on the left hash, moving right to left. The Tigers stand back inside their own 5-yard line, but if those guys in the back catch it, they're not going to catch it at the 5. It's either going to be out the back of the end zone or they'll have to come up for it if it's a high onside. There's the whistle. Young waiting. Young waiting. Young moving. Young kicking. And he boots the bejesus out of it. That might get through the uprights. No, it's a little bit left. But it's a touchback nonetheless, and Norman will start 1st and 10 from its own 20. Let's go down to the sideline and Madison Dildine. Madison?
Yeah, guys, I just had the chance to talk to Devin Shaw, and he said as a unit it's very evident that the energy is low tonight. He said they've been used to the home crowd bringing that energy for them because we've been at home the last 2 weeks, but now he said as leaders they need to be more vocal. Guys.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Madison. Madison getting a player interview in the middle of the game there. How about that?
Know.
Look at that. Just first-class content from our sideline report.
I mean, if I tried to do that, they'd kick me off the sidelines.
Devin Shaw, a senior defensive tackle, and that is that defensive unit that's out right now. 3 down linemen for the Tigers. Here's a snap. Fake handoff. Now the quarterback taking it up the middle. That's McClarty across the 25-yard line and brought down for a gain of 7 out to the 27-yard line. Broken Arrow leading 7-0 here in the second quarter.
See, that's about the only success they're going to have, I think, running the ball, because unbalanced. They've tried the perimeter's not there, but that stretch quarterback keep has worked twice.
2nd down, and we'll call it 3. 1 receiver to either side. A tight end right. Here's the snap. McClarty pulls the handoff, tries to take it himself. He's swarmed in the backfield and loses a couple back inside the 25-yard line, where it will be 3rd and a long 5. Both defensive lines, Spav, are doing a good job getting to the backfield.
Absolutely, they're doing a good job. I'm just trying to figure out what he's reading. I know it's a read. I'm not sure who he's reading for him to keep the ball like that.
Yeah, we've seen both quarterbacks keep the ball and not get far with it
right
in this game so far. So I don't know if the defenses are disguising things well or what. 3rd down and 6. 2 receivers to either side. McClarty takes the snap, looking right, steps up in the pocket, zings it across the middle. It is caught and then brought down immediately at the 41-yard line. Now is Eric Lambert, the receiver on the near side that had to go down near his shoelaces to make that catch.
No, they ran double slants here, and a shallow and a little deeper one, and the kid made a good throw. He made a good throw to the inside one.
1st and 10 for Norman from its own 41-yard line. 8 minutes to play second quarter, and the Tigers jumped into the neutral zone. That'll make it 1st down and 5. The Tigers have been doing a much better job penalty-wise. Broken Arrow.
Oh, we have.
The yards per game average is down more than 21 yards per game in the last 3 contests.
But just remember, the games where we had a lot of penalties were west side. We were here in the west side, so we're still early in this game.
1st and 5. That is the 2nd penalty on Broken Arrow. 3 on Norman so far. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. Pass over the middle is incomplete. There was some early contact there, but Spears-Jennings avoided the flag. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5. That's a nice way to rebound from the penalties. You get a neutral play to still make it 2nd down and 5.
Right.
Tyus McClarty now 1 for 2 passing in the game. Both of those pass attempts on this drive. And this whole game may fly by the way these two teams are both trying to run the football.
They're not used to, probably one thing they're not used to seeing is a four down lineman type defense too, and that's tough. Westsiders usually don't. They're more of a 3.
McClarty pulls the handoff, takes it himself at the middle. He's sandwiched down in Broken Arrow territory at the 48-yard line. A gain of 6 is enough for the 1st down. Norman moving the ball a little bit on this drive. They started at their own 20, now into Broken Arrow territory at the 48. 7:22 to play before halftime.
Shows you how valuable this quarterback is for them.
Boy, he can really move, too.
Boy, he does a great job.
2 receivers split right this time for McClarty. 2 tight ends left. Here's the snap. He hands it off this time to Alexander. Room over the right side, across the 40. Breaks through a tackle and is brought down at the 35-yard line of Broken Arrow. Gain of 13 on the play.
You see how those running backs, they kind of just float in there, and then all of a sudden, bam, he takes off. I'm not sure I like watching the way Horn does it better. He's going to find the yardage quicker.
First down and 10 for Norman from the 35 of Broken Arrow. Norman Tigers, black jerseys and pants, orange trim, black helmets. Ball near the right hash. Now two tight ends motion to the right. So two tight ends and two wide receivers on the right side of the formation.
Oh, and they
Here's
pull.
the snap. They hand it off to Alexander, the running back, over the right side, working his way down to about the 31 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 4, and it brings up 2nd down and 6.
That was an interesting play.
They were trying to get as many guys at the point of attack as they possibly could, weren't they?
And they ran a counter, so they pulled 2 linemen out in the same concept. That was putting a lot of, it's like old Green Bay Packers, you know, putting the student body right. That's exactly what that was. But we defended it well.
Zach Stone splits left. He's way out at the numbers, and it's hard to imagine him coming into effect in this play. Tyus McClarty hands it off. No, he pulled it, running it himself over the right side. He's hit at the 28-yard line, eventually knocked forward by Buddy Mack. It's a gain of about 2. Elisha Wilson in on the stop as well. It brings up 3rd down and 3. And here's a big opportunity here, Spav, for this Broken Arrow defense. Can you find a way to get a negative play or at least a neutral play and force 4th down?
And, you know, we can do that because it's 3rd and 2. I mean, I know they have their own. They have their own tendencies, and I don't know what they are, but I'm sure Coach Mon knows what it is.
Tried the hard count and didn't work. Tigers showed blitz up the middle. Mack showing blitz here. Buddy Mack played linebacker last year, moved to safety this year. He may be back in a linebacker role now. 3rd down and 2, a whistle and a timeout as the play clock was running down. Norman takes its first time out of the half.
Yeah, this is important down for them because you could see we had indication of a lot of pressure, bringing pressure. So they have to make sure they have a good call here. Sometimes it's 3rd and 2. Is this this 4-down territory for
I would
them?
think
So it's like 2 downs for 2 yards, but you don't want to create a loss either. You don't want to really throw the football unless you're good at the short game or, you know, those wide screens or something. But you know, the way they were putting the receiver way up to the top of the field, he wasn't a factor. So they're wanting to run the football.
Spav, Cole Wade is the kicker for Norman. He has made 3 out of 4 field goals on the year, so he has kicked a few, but his long's only 32.
Okay.
This right here, if they didn't advance the ball at all, would be about a 44-yarder. So I would imagine this is almost certainly 4-down territory.
Correct.
3 receivers split right on the short side of the field, an H-back tight end to the left side between the guard and the tackle. The quarterback, McClarty, moves Devin Alexander up next to him in the shotgun on the right side. Here's the snap. Quarterback draw straight at the middle. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, pulled down. Did he get enough for the first down? It's close, but I think he's just short. Briley Ferguson led the way on the tackle. They do mark him about a half-yard short.
You know, the thing with the quarterback, though, he's a great runner, but once he gets in there and he has contact, it's like he's done.
Well, he's not very big.
Yeah, and he won't drive his legs to continue. You know, like Marion, you know how he just keeps driving.
He's under center here. The Tigers of Broken Arrow, that is, take a timeout on 4th and inches. And McClarty's not very big, 5'9", 160.
Right.
So his quickness and his shiftiness is definitely his bigger advantage.
But he's not that kid that's going to have yards after contact.
No, which is tough in a 4th and inches situation like this because he's not the ideal quarterback to run a quarterback sneak with either.
So how big's Horn? How big is Horn?
Marion Horn?
Yeah.
Marion's 6 foot 165 according to the roster.
Same size basically. Weight-wise.
Well, I mean, weight-wise, he's about the same, yeah. Yeah, weight-wise, they're almost exactly the same.
He has so much yardage after contact. That's what I like about him. But he's a different type of player. I understand that.
Well, and I also would venture to guess that he might be more than 165 now. I don't think he's like 200 or anything, but I think he maybe has put on a few extra pounds since this roster was probably printed.
at the Broken Arrow, 26.
But I just love watching him play. I tell you who I really miss is Dietrich Moore. He's just
He'd be a handy
he's
guy to
always
have here.
everywhere.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage, the Norman Tigers. Motion from the left, now back to the right. Looks like some confusion. Oh, they tried the hard count. That didn't work. Still 4th down and 1, and now Norman takes a timeout. Boy, there was some real wacky stuff going on there. They moved the tight end in motion from right to left and then back to right. I think, Spav, they were trying to make it look like they were confused and then make it look like they were trying to sprint to the line and get a quick snap off just to try to get the Tigers to jump off sides. It didn't work.
But, we're lined up ready for the quarterback sneak. It's 4th and 1. I think you need to get back and run your offense because like we said, the defensive line is really controlling. Both defensive lines are controlling the line of scrimmage. So how important, how successful is that quarterback sneak going to be?
Exactly. And the thing with trying to get the hard count there for Broken Arrow is if you are one of those 3 guys that's right there over the ball for Broken Arrow, you're watching the ball. You're not even listening to the count anyway because you can see the ball. It's right in front of you.
Right.
So it's going to be tough to draw those guys off sides in that situation.
That's right. Now they're running their offense, looks like.
Yeah, they're in the shotgun again now. Tyus McClarty with Devin Alexander to his right on 4th down and a little less than a yard. One receiver to either side as well. Motion right to left from the tight end. Here's the snap. They fake the handoff, want to throw it over the middle. It is caught at the 12-yard line. A flag comes flying in. Right now it's a 1st down as it stands, but what's that flag down at the 17?
The only thing I can think of is possible interference.
He caught the ball.
Holding.
Is he saying the defender got there early?
No, I think he's probably handsy on him during the pass, perhaps. Yeah.
It is indeed pass interference against the defense.
I think he was just, they were playing a lot of he's had a lot of hands on him.
Boy, how surprised are you that Norman came out and decided to throw the football right there?
Yeah.
It was well covered. Apparently a little too well covered. 1st and 10 now from the Broken Arrow 11 for Norman. Broken Arrow leading 7-0, 4:20 to go here in this second quarter. Tigers have had the football for a long time. Norman, that is. Shotgun set. Here's the snap. Quarterback run. Oh, they gave it on the reverse to the tight end coming to the near side across the 5, dragging a defender, and he's into the end zone.
Dang.
Touchdown, Norman. They gave it to Eric Lambert. He's able to take it in for 6, and now the PAT would tie it for Norman.
I was interested on that. It looked like a reverse, but I thought originally it was going to be a counter.
Yeah.
Because they pulled the guard tackle, or they pulled both guard. I thought it was going to be a counter play, but then ended up being that reverse, and they had the 2 linemen out there. But it was a great run.
He drug a defender into the end zone with him. Nifty little play call there from Norman to try to get this game tied up.
How many drives have there been in this game so far?
Not
Just
that
4?
many. We'll take a
2
look.
each?
Whoa, look out. The kick is blocked, scooped up by the Tigers. They can't return it, but there was something iffy on the placement there for the kick. I don't know if the snap rolled back to him or what, but the kicker had to kind of double clutch there, and it allowed the Tigers enough time to come in and block it. That will keep Broken Arrow on top,
huge.
7-6.
It's huge.
Let's take a look here at the drive, Spav. That was an 11-play, 80-yard drive that took up 5.5 minutes. So the last 2 drives combined have taken up 10 minutes of football.
So it's just 2 drives apiece?
There's 3 drives apiece.
Okay.
Broken Arrow's about to have its 4th.
Man, it's almost halftime.
Yeah.
This has been a football game.
4:09 to play in the second, and the Tigers maintain the lead with the point after attempt that got blocked, 7-6 here in Norman.
But where we'll wake up is at halftime.
The
we'll
Tigers
have
actually,
halftime.
that's one of the things that Broken Arrow has really excelled at.
Exactly.
Is 3rd quarter scoring. They're far outpacing. It's far the plus minus for Broken Arrow in the 3rd is the best of any quarter.
Well, they do. They have such great adjustments to what they're seeing, and that's what you need to do. You either continue what you're doing, or you change what you're doing. You tweak what you're doing. Because obviously they've had a week to prepare as well too, and they're going to do some things that we haven't prepared for. And you can't, as a defense, you cannot practice against everything you see on film. You can't practice on it. You don't have enough time in the day.
Well, Norman will tee the ball up now at its own 40-yard line. Seven to 6, Broken Arrow leads. 2 nights before Halloween. Here in a
So what
home
are you
field
going to do
that
with your
features
kids?
an orange
Where are
end
your
zone.
kids going? Neighborhood?
Yeah, we've got like 4 families with kids about the same age on our street, so I was thinking about just doling out candy to everyone and letting them all give it right back to each other.
Yeah.
Here's a squib kick up the near side. It is covered up by the Tigers. That was Joshua Wilhite that covered it up. So Broken Arrow will now have possession 1st and 10 on its own 35. I think we got our church is doing a thing called Candy Palooza also, so we'll probably be involved in that on Sunday.
Some churches are doing tailgate where they're not
trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat, is that what they call it? Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
1 receiver to either side, tight end to either side. Pistol formation. Ramsey takes a snap, hands it off. Marion Horn looking for a hole. He breaks a tackle, carries a tackler out past the 40-yard line. He's knocked out of bounds around the 43. It's a gain of 8.
That's exactly what we needed right there, too, because we balanced the formation. We weren't trying to overload the formation, just balance it and run your offense.
2nd and 2, excuse me. Horn with the cutback this time. Tries to bounce off of a tackler. He gets about a yard out to the 44. Brings up 3rd down. Boy, the pursuit has been just good enough for Norman to keep Marion Horn from bouncing off those tackles and finding open space.
Because he's finding the openings.
At some point, though, you got to think that there's going to be a play-action opportunity here for the Tigers.
Yes.
Because they have run. And at some point, they're going to be able to throw one down the field.
Right, and I like that play selection we're doing there, too, because it gives Marion a chance to find that opening.
3rd and 1, direct snap to Marion Horn. He carries the ball straight up the middle. He's got a 1st down, but there's a flag down. Now a couple of other late flags come flying in. Boy, there's laundry all over the field here.
Multiple flags on the field.
The first flag came in right at the point of attack. Then there were some extracurricular activities
like holding
late.
there, and then something else. I'm not sure if we pancaked the guy outside the box there.
He did pancake him, but I thought that was not terribly after the play, to be honest, and it looked like the defender might have pulled him down on top of him.
He may just consider it unnecessary. I don't know. Never know over here.
There's a whole conversation taking place among the officiating crew at the 49-yard line. First call is a hold. All right, so holding on the offense will move it back 10 yards. The personal foul will move it forward 15 yards after it's been moved back 10 yards because it was a dead ball penalty. So you're looking at a 1st down for the Tigers is what it's going to end up being.
With a 5-yard gain, is it?
With about a 5-yard gain. I mean, that could have turned out worse, I suppose. All in all, you move the chains, which was the goal of the play to begin with. And Marion Horn was brought down around the 49-yard line, so it's almost as if there were no penalties on the play at all, other than Horn doesn't get credit for the 5 yards.
Right, I know, exactly.
1st and 10, Broken Arrow from its own 49, leading 7-6, 2:57 to play in the quarter. Long pass up the far side, looking for Spears Jennings. It is juggled and incomplete. Broken up on the far side. Looks like that was Luke Morrow on the coverage. He did a nice job getting his hand in there and breaking that up.
Just barely got his hand in there, didn't he? Made it just a little difficult to catch. What a great ball, though.
Yeah.
A great ball and a great route.
Brings up
2nd down and 10. The Tigers quickly back to the line. Stever motions to the left. 2 tight ends left now. Here's the snap. Hand off to Horn. Finding a hole up the middle across the 50, now inside the 45. And he tumbles backwards down to the 43. It's a gain of about 8 on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 2. Marion Horn now, let's see here, over 70 yards rushing in the game.
No.
He's only averaging about 5 yards a pop, though.
But that was awesome. You know, you had a first down shot, we missed it, and then a second down and 10, you know, he gets 8.
2 receivers right, 2 tight ends right. Pistol set, Ramsey takes the snap, hands off to Horn,
there
big
it is.
gap, big cut, and he's tripped up inside the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 4, down to the 39, and it will move the chains, but he planted, and if he had been able to keep his footing, he had a lot of space in front
Absolutely. You know, and that's why I love that formation, because it's balanced. You look at it, it's balanced right now, and then you let Marion do his job.
First and 10, Ramsey wants to throw, zips it to the far side. Caught inside the 30-yard line, brought down around the 26. That is Spears Jennings on the reception that time, and it'll move the chains after a gain of about 12.
Nice job. Got a minute 56 left. We're doing fine.
Yeah, if anything, you might want to run some more clock here, to be honest.
Right.
Try to take away Norman's opportunity to counter a strike. The Tigers got the ball to start, so it'll be Norman ball out of halftime. Hand off to Horn, working the right side, breaks a tackle. Now he's wrapped up, though. He gets about 3 down to the 24.
Running that little draw play. That's a play you don't see that often anymore, is that just typical pass draw.
Broken arrow, quickly back to the line. 2 receivers split left on 2nd down, and we'll call it 6. Tight end left, 2 tight ends left. Here's the snap. Ramsey wants to throw, launching it over the left side. Nobody there. There was some confusion on the route, it looked like.
Well, I could see that at the beginning because RJ was communicating with the outside receiver, and you could see he's communicating with him, so you don't know if it was miscommunication or what.
Jackson Horn with coverage for Norman.
That brings up 3rd down and 6.
The incompletion brings up
Broken Arrow leading 7-6. 1:13 to play before halftime. The Tigers are in field goal range. 2 receivers left, 1 right, tight end right. Here's the snap. Ramsey's going to throw it again. He's immediately under pressure. He's sacked back at the 33-yard line, and that'll take him out of field goal range.
Out of field goal range. See, here's again is a perfect example of ourselves shooting ourselves in the foot. Now, how important, you have to ask yourself as a coach at halftime, how important was that first down shot that was incomplete? I mean, it was almost touchdown. Don't get me wrong. How important was it? And it puts you in a bind automatically, and you're into the red zone, 40+. You know, it's just how important some of these downs are. That's what you'll evaluate at halftime.
That was Andre McCoy who came through to make the stop. It's now 4th down and about 14. The Tigers will let the play clock run all the way down and take a timeout with 26 seconds left in the half. Now, Spav, with less than 30 seconds left, you're going to run a play here. Worst case scenario, you take a shot down the field that's incomplete
or a screen.
Yeah. And let's say you throw an incomplete pass, then Norman gets the ball on its own 32. They're not really a deep shot offense, so the chances of them scoring are very good. So you can comfortably, I think, run whatever play you want here and know that your defense is going to probably get a stop and at least go into halftime with a lead.
Well, he's going to try to find a way to give, RJ or Marion or somebody that gives them the hands on the ball, I would think. And it could be a screen. It could be a tunnel screen. It could be a wide screen. It could be something where they catch it in space and then let them be an athlete, because now your odds are in your favor when you do that, instead of taking that deep shot. Because
which, frankly, Norman's done a pretty good job of not giving Broken Arrow time to take that deep shot in this game.
But they're probably going to put another DB in and protect the deep shot.
Okay.
Put everything underneath. There's 26 seconds left. So, I mean, I would think there's a lot of things you can do.
Broken Arrow does lead 7-6.
They haven't put another DB in, like I said, but
the safety is standing about 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, though. Here's the snap on 4th and 14. Lob pass up the right side, looking for Spears Jennings. It is incomplete. There was a little bit of contact, not enough to draw a flag, though.
I think the ball was uncatchable. Wasn't it out of bounds there, kind of?
It was certainly behind him.
Yes.
That'll give the ball to Norman on downs, and the Tiger defense will now be responsible for trying to keep this a 7-6 ball game going into halftime.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything against the play selection there because obviously if these things work, you don't do them. But I'm just a big believer in when you get a situation like this is put the ball in the hands of your athletes right now. In shortstop, because I would anticipate, which they didn't do, I would anticipate them being in, prevent type coverage, but they were in man.
First down and 10, handoff to Anderson, trying the right side. A decent gain out near the 40-yard line. A gain of about 7 on the play. Norman will use its last time out with 12 seconds to play before halftime and decide to run one more play, apparently.
Yeah.
This is interesting to me because you stand about as much chance, it seems to me like, of hitting a home run on a simple handoff here as you do of fumbling the ball and giving Broken Arrow the ball back with a few seconds on the clock.
We've seen that. We've seen that on both sides.
I'm a little surprised they're not just letting the clock run here.
I know. I mean, we're going to be in some sort of a prevent situation.
Defense, yeah.
You're going to be able to run the ball on us, and we're going to bring it underneath, and we're going to chase it down.
Offense comes out with 12 seconds to play before halftime. Broken Arrow leading 7-6. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Tight end right. There's the snap. Rolling to his right is McClarty. Now turns and looks back left. Now tucks it, runs out of bounds at the 40-yard line, still with 6 seconds to go on the clock. I'm not sure what the goal was there, Spav. They rolled him into the boundary. I thought maybe they might try a throwback the other direction on a screen
that's what
or
I
something.
was thinking there at first, the way he sprinted over here so rapidly. I thought he was going to do the same thing, but obviously not. So
Norman doesn't have any timeouts left. Play clock down to 12. Theoretically, this will be the last play of the quarter. It's 3rd down and 2. 2 receivers left. Here's the snap. They fake the handoff. McClarty taking it himself over the right side. Sprints up the middle, across the 50. He's flung down forward, and that will end the first half of play. 7-6 Broken Arrow after a first half that took only an hour to play. It's just now 8 o'clock, and it was just a little bit of a wonky half, Spav. It seemed like there was no rhythm.
But it was. You're right there. But it was football. I mean, the whole thing is both teams don't appear to have. Go ahead.
Let's go to the sideline in Madison. Dildine, Madison.
Thanks, guys. Coach, going in the second half up by 1, what do you need to focus on?
We've got some creases that we're not quite getting there on. Credit to them. They're playing really well, and we got to hit some shots on offense.
Thanks, Coach.
That's Madison Dildine and Josh Blankenship. And Spav, you heard, a couple of things. Essentially, he said that they're just not quite getting to in time offensively, and that did seem like the theme of the first half. Close to some big plays, but never quite able to hit one.
And like you said, there's a lot of the pursuit that's coming back and, making tackles from the pursuit. But like you said, the creases are disappearing real quickly, and he's right. We're getting them. We're running the counter. There's a few times we saw that counter, and boy, I mean, he was going to go. And I tell you what, just got to keep fighting, keep going, and he knows what we need to do, and it's going to be a different offensive battle out here at the second half.
We'll break that down a little bit more when we return in just a little bit. The halftime score, Broken Arrow 7, Norman 6. This is Broken Arrow Tiger football on ArrowVision.
Just a reminder, there will come a time when they can no longer share a bedroom. That's why we have a complete array of home loans, so that dream of more space can come true. Right on time. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Recently, you've had to put your life on hold, and we're with you in this. At Ascension St. John, we're now open for appointments, and we are fully prepared for your safety and our care. As we open our doors again, our doctors, nurses, and care teams will continue to wear personal protective equipment. We've taken even more steps to clean and stringently disinfect all areas. We will maintain distancing in our waiting rooms, and will continue to limit visitors. And we will still screen all staff to protect their health and yours. Our emergency rooms are here 24/7. Please do not delay care. We're still delivering babies and performing surgeries. And we're open for your appointments, from specialists and surgical care to routine care and health screenings. Ask us about virtual visits. Ascension St. John continues to care for you, as we have been for almost a century. Thank you for trusting us.
Meet Andrea, a member at TTCU Federal Credit Union.
Hi.
Andrea is one busy person. The last thing she needs is her finances holding her back.
Since I've joined TTCU, I've been able to save even more money. I'm building my emergency fund, and I watch my credit score like a hawk. Thanks for everything, TTCU.
Join Andrea and become a member at TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Hey Tiger football fans, I'm Madison Dildine, and we are not at Tiger Memorial Stadium. The rain has pushed us into the Varsity Training Center, but we're gonna try and go somewhat of 100 yards. I'm here with defensive coordinator Britt Mon. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Coach, you coached with Coach Blankenship at Adams State University. How do you think that relationship has helped your transition here at VA?
I think us being on the same page as far as what we want out of the program, what we want from our kids on a day-to-day basis has really helped us get going quicker than maybe in a different scenario if we were coming from different places.
Absolutely. What would you say are some similarities or differences between coaching at the collegiate level versus high school?
Well, I think number one, the similarities are football is football. You're going to teach the same things, the same fundamentals. I think some of the differences is that you got to emphasize those things every single day with the new group. Some of those fundamentals are going to be re-emphasized probably more often than you would at the collegiate level.
What do you think is your favorite part about coaching?
My favorite part of coaching is definitely taking care of the kids on a day-to-day basis and seeing that growth when we work with them and are able to see them progress.
How much growth have you seen from your guys on the defensive side from the Mansfield game up until now?
Oh, a ton. We've seen from game one to now, we've seen guys start to trust each other more, play together more, and just enjoy being together. And that's really what you want to see is guys who work together and have fun together, and then the result is winning from that.
Who are some guys that fans should expect to see more of the remainder of the season?
Oh, wow, that's a big question. I think the defensive back group has made huge strides, and I think you should start seeing more from like Javion Franklin. I think a guy that goes unnoticed a lot of the time is Elijah Wilson. I think the DB group's a group that's going to show up a lot.
Earlier this season, I asked Coach Blankenship what To the Tree meant to him, but from the defensive standpoint, what does it mean to you?
Oh, for us, pretty similar, but what we try to emphasize is making sure that we're working to the end of every single play, working through the whistle.
What does a day in the life look like as the compliance and eligibility coordinator?
Well, you wake up in the morning and then you field some calls and emails from other coaches about what are things their players need to get ready for their season. And so not only am I helping our players get ready, but I'm also helping some of the other staffs with the compliance and eligibility components. And so, you know, there's a little bit of working with all the sports and then kind of narrowing it down to football by the end of the day.
As we get near the end zone, let's do some rapid fire. You ready? Who is your favorite professional football team?
San Francisco 49ers.
Interesting. Who is your favorite fictional football coach?
Whoa. I don't even know. You blew my mind right there. Remember the Titans.
Coach Taylor from Friday Night Live.
Coach Taylor.
There we go.
Yes,
There we go.
the only answer.
The only answer, I guess.
What is your favorite food?
Hamburgers.
Just hamburgers.
Just a good hamburger. Brahms now, right?
Yeah, interesting. Interesting. And what is your favorite thing about BA so far?
My favorite thing about BA is how everybody seems to be working together to be successful. And I've never been at a school that they don't care about, they usually care about one thing or two or three, but they seem to want everything to be successful. It doesn't matter what level, what sport, what activity, they want everything to be successful. And it's really cool to be around people that care about everything.
Absolutely. That was 100 yards with defensive coordinator Britt Mon. Friday night, it's Tigers versus Tigers as BA travels to Norman. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. on ArrowVision.
What does community mean to you? Here at Broken Arrow Schools, we can't think of anything better than the communities we create, both inside the classroom and out in the world. Our community is rooted in our 4 core values, where relationships with students, teachers, parents, civic leaders, and businesses are what drive our success. We celebrate our diversity along the way by building a rapport with each other, no matter what path of life we walk on.
Community means connection, concern for others, and a commitment to showing we care.
It's about working toward a common goal so that we can accomplish more together than we ever could alone.
Community is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It involves intentionally and purposely pursuing relationships that positively connect us to one another.
Community means new beginnings and embracing challenges. Community is 35 maintenance department employees doing our job to make it easier for you to do your job.
Community is formed intentionally, not by accident. It takes work, but it's worth it.
Community means volunteers and partners from the business sector. Tireless hours of giving time, money, and helpful hands are what make our businesses unique in Broken Arrow. Around the community, Broken Arrow schools are synonymous with helping hands and wonderful volunteers. Selfless acts of kindness displayed by our students, administrators, and teachers help build and strengthen our unity as one of the greatest districts in the state.
Community is finding our commonalities while embracing our differences.
Community is about partnerships and connections. Community is about relationships.
Community isn't just about living in Broken Arrow, it's about kindness and giving back.
Community is engaging all of Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow is about building community and service above self.
Broken Arrow is a gift.
Community means providing resources and activities to further enhance our academics, athletics, and fine arts programs. Showcasing our students on state and national levels in competitions and academic prowess is key to their future successes, both in collegiate life and beyond. State-of-the-art classrooms, equipment, curriculum, and technology unify our students under a common bond of academic excellence.
Community is starting new traditions and building a championship culture.
Community is building champions for life.
It's creating an environment that inspires our students to achieve their highest academic, athletic, and personal potential.
Community is showing up in droves of black and gold and cheering the Tigers on to victory.
Community is taking pride in working together.
Community means a sense of belonging where all our students feel accepted and loved.
Community is 31 school sites all across the district, using technology to teach our kids in innovative ways.
Community is feeling connected. That connection comes from being part of something that's bigger than yourself
giving more than you take, and having compassion for others.
Community is all of us working together to educate and empower students and families to make our world a better place.
Community is 13 years at Broken Arrow Public Schools and graduating with 1,300 of my closest friends.
Community means togetherness. Community means support. Community means belonging. And community is Broken Arrow.
Welcome back to Broken Arrow Tiger Football. This is Ken Ellett, and today we get to visit with the head coach of the best wrestling program in the state of Oklahoma. That's Coach Rodney Jones. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thank you, Coach Ellett. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about a little bit. Now, this is your third year?
Third year as the head coach.
Third year as head coach, right. Just so everybody kind of knows your background a little bit, just give us a real brief synopsis of your wrestling.
Basically been wrestling my entire life. Have two older brothers. Obviously Sean, who was the head coach here for a number of years. 6 years older. Biff is 3 years older. Born into a house where my dad was a wrestling coach. And so from day one, just been involved in the sport. Grew up wrestling in West Tulsa. Went to Webster High School. From Webster High School, wrestled at the University of Oklahoma. Was fortunate enough to get to stick around for about 5 years after I graduated and was an assistant coach at OU. And then this is my 17th year here at Broken Arrow. So,
wow.
Been involved in wrestling, since I was born.
17 years, it's hard to believe that it goes by quick, doesn't it?
It does go by quick. It does.
Okay, the head wrestling coach now here for 3 years. Has there been any surprises? Is there things that you're going, man, I would have never done that, or not what I expected, or is it kind of been what you thought it would be?
I think for the most part, it's been what I thought it would be. Spending 14, 15 years as an assistant coach, like I said, with my older brother Sean, and, experiencing that whole journey with him and alongside of him, and then hearing him, always just talking about, the extra things that a head coach has to do, and you never understand until you experience it. And even when he would say things, and you'd kind of shrug them off. It can't be that much, but there's a lot more responsibility and things that need to get done as a head coach as opposed to assistant coach. And I expected that coming in, but you just never know until you experience it.
Right. Let's talk a little about last year. Had several kids go off and get a chance to go wrestle at the collegiate level. Let's talk about those kids a little bit.
Yeah, and trying to remember and name everyone. But we had a good senior class last year, and we have another good senior class this year. But Jared Hill is wrestling at the University of Oklahoma. Braden Anderson and Dayton Hill are both at Ottawa University in Kansas. Casey Goss, I think, is at Oklahoma City University right now. And trying not to leave anyone out.
Cockrell?
The Cockrells were 2 years ago,
right.
and one's at the University of Maryland, and Bryce is at Long Island University. And then, talking about the wrestling program as a whole, Olivia Brown ends up going to Grandview in Iowa, and Allison Hines is in Missouri. So we had quite a few wrestlers, and we're seeing more and more. Because there's just so many opportunities, and we're not talking, Division I all the time, but there's a lot of opportunities for these kids to wrestle and continue their education.
That's wonderful. Obviously, to have a good team, as you know more as well as anybody, you got to have some leadership. You got to have some kids take that role. What's the team look like this year? Who's your kids you're looking for leadership?
The team's looking. We're very optimistic about this season, and expectations are always high. You've returned a couple state finalists, and Christian Forbes. Christian Forbes is a two-time state finalist now, and he's signed, and he's going to go to the University of Oklahoma next year and continue wrestling. Jordan Colors is another guy that's been in the finals a couple times. Parker Whitcraft has been on the podium. So we're, those three guys, and then you add in, Brock Machota, Eli Hines, Mitchell Banning, who's on the football field right now, at heavyweight. So it's a good group of seniors, and they've all been through a season, multiple seasons, so they know what to expect. And more than anything is just the leadership by example in the room, and how hard they work, and the commitment and the discipline that they have.
Well, and knowing how important those kids are. But another part of your wrestling program that obviously is probably as much, if not more important than anything else, is you've got a great crew of assistant coaches. Let's talk about your assistant coaches a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Right now in the high school, which we're talking 9 through 12, we're 60-plus wrestlers, every day. We see them every day of the year. In the middle school program, I think it's sitting around 75, 7th and 8th graders only. And now with football season wrapping up, our numbers will probably be higher than they've ever been. I could see the junior high pushing close to 100 wrestlers, and maybe 9 through 12, the high school room getting close to maybe 80 wrestlers. And you can't do that by yourself. You can't. Right. There's no way that I can take credit or responsibility for all of those things. So, yeah, we've got a really, really, really good great coaching staff. Ray Rosso, Dustin Hines. Biff Jones has kind of been manning the junior high program for the last couple years, and now he's kind of transitioning back up into the high school room full time, which is a big deal. And then, of course, we hired my father, 77-year-old, has been coaching since 1967 in the Tulsa area. We were fortunate enough to hire him this year on our staff. Our middle school staff is being led by Chris Buckmaster, who has a lot of experience. He was actually the head coach at Shakota High School several years back.
He has some energy, doesn't he?
He does. He brings a different energy for sure, and the kids love him, and the kids love that attitude. And he took Shakota High School to a dual state tournament, which is the only time in the history of Shakota High School that they've done that. Shay Conley is back. John Bullock, Broken Arrow alumni, is back. And then the new addition is William Barlow. So those guys will be in the middle school room, and it's right next door to us. So it's like just one big happy family.
Yeah. Just real quick, who's going to be the teams on the east side to beat? And then obviously there's always a couple on the west side. Who are some of those powers to be this year, you think?
Wow, it's the state of Oklahoma, and 6A wrestling in the state of Oklahoma is deep. I mean, the competition seems like it just keeps getting tougher and tougher. Stillwater High School had a great team last year. They returned a bunch of guys. I know they got a bunch of young guys coming up. So, we're going to pencil it on paper right now. You would probably say they were going to be the favorites leading, heading into the season. Edmond North had a young group last year that they're going to be competing for a state championship. And then, you got Mustang, who's got a good group of guys coming back. And, the usual suspects. You got Choctaw, Tulsa Union, Sand Springs, Paul. There's just a bunch of teams out there, and the health of 6A wrestling in the state of Oklahoma is as good as it's ever been.
Well, Coach, I wish you all the luck this year. It's going to be fun to get out and watch it, and appreciate all the work you do and the great job that you do. And go Tigers!
Yeah, go Tigers! Thanks for your time.
Welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma, where Broken Arrow is taking on the Norman Tigers tonight. Broken Arrow leading 7-6 at the half. And we are just about to get the second half underway. I'm Adam Hildebrand alongside Steve Spavital. Madison Dildine is on the sidelines for us tonight. And Spav, Broken Arrow, it seemed like there were a few plays that were close to being big runs or big plays for the Broken Arrow offense. We're never quite able to break one of those, but this has been a Norman defense that has been very aggressive and very aggressive in the box. How might the Tigers choose to try to alleviate that a little bit in the second half?
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a lot of things you can do. Offensively, we're going to need to really work on our screen game, do some things to where we can, the flare screens, get the ball on our guys in space. We're having a little difficulty running through the creases in the line of scrimmage, and then we have to cut back on our penalties. Our penalties have been killing us a little bit, pretty crucial at times. We're going to have to figure out a way to convert our third downs. We're just not real consistent on that right now. I think we need to give the ball a little bit to Sterling Ramsey as well.
Let him run it a little bit.
I think we need to do that a little bit more. But, our D-line's playing well. We're doing a lot of penetration, so...
one thing we've really not seen a lot from Sterling Ramsey as the Tigers get ready to kick off, that is moving the pocket for him, getting him out on the run and give him a chance to run it or throw it. We really haven't seen that at all. The kick is deep, and it is caught at the 1-yard line for Norman, coming out past the 15, tripped up and brought down inside the 20.
Great
Norman
coverage.
Will start first and 10 from its own 18. On the return that time for the Norman Tigers, I believe, was Luke Morrow.
Great coverage.
So Norman will start clear back at its own 18. As Spav mentioned, excellent coverage down the field that time, and it's a perfect kick, too. It hung up in the wind a little bit, caught at the 1-yard line. I mean, you can't execute much better than that kickoff-wise.
No, that was perfect.
First and 10, Norman, 2 receivers, and now a tight end on the right side of the formation. They fake the handoff, running it to it by himself to the near side is Tyus McClarty. He breaks a tackle across the 20, hit by a couple of defenders, and spun down at around the 23-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to they want that quarterback to carry the football. He's but that was quarterback counter last. Let's see what they do here.
2nd down and 4. Tigers are switching some things up defensively here. Guys communicating in the defensive
backfield.
A lot
of pressure, putting pressure on them right now.
Handoff right side, Alexander, big hole across the 30, sprinting across the 40-yard line and tackled at the 42. A big gain on 2nd down for Norman, as the Norman Tigers are trying to take their first lead of the game potentially on this drive.
Yeah, caught us on a seam. We were blitzing pretty good there. Had a lot of pressure on them, and they just caught us in a little seam there.
1st and 10 from the 42 now for Norman. Moving right to left, black jerseys and pants, that is, black helmets as well. Briefly got into basketball move there, jerseys and shorts. 2 receivers right now, the 2 tight ends shift to the right side of the formation as well. Devin Alexander, the tailback, could take a handoff running that direction. That's exactly what happens. Tigers trying to stretch him out. He's bottled up in the backfield and tackled for a loss back at the 39-yard line. Excellent pursuit there for the Tigers. A whole host of defenders in on the tackle.
I just don't like the way the running back floats in there. You can't just float and then try to find a seam. You're going to have to go.
If you're going to be patient behind the line like that, you better do that while the line is slowly working its way forward. If you're doing that and the line's moving forward, you're in good shape. That time he was 3 yards in the backfield, and that's just a recipe to get tackled for a loss.
And you don't want negative yardage. That's something an offense never wants to have.
2nd and 13, trips left for Norman. The hard count didn't work for McClarty, so now he looks over to the sidelines. McClarty has carried the ball 10 times for 52 yards. Devin Alexander, the tailback, 11 for 48. Here's the snap. Hand off to Alexander. Gets to the line of scrimmage, is hit and stacked up. Brought down for a gain of a couple, back out to near the 41-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
Now, why did they mark it back? He fell forward.
Must have marked him down before he eventually fell forward. That's the only thing I can think of.
He was still running the football.
3rd down and 11. Ball on the right hash. Tigers are in a good spot here to try to get off the field on 3rd down. Norman 2 for 5 on 3rd downs today.
Yeah, we're playing man free here.
Motion in on the left side. Rolling to his left side is McClarty. Wants to throw, lobs it over the left side. It is low. I'm not sure if it was caught or not. It was at the 50-yard line. He went out of bounds. He's short, but there's also a flag down in the backfield.
What a nice catch.
That was a great catch.
Holding.
Oh, it looks like it's holding, and I think you take this one here, Spav. You don't want to give him the chance to try to get 4th and 2.
Is that what it is? 4th and 2?
It would be 4th and 2. I think you move him back here for sure. Making 3rd down and 21.
Right. Well, and plus field position plays is so valuable here.
Well, the only drive that the Tigers have scored on started at the Norman 40. So that'll move the ball clear back to the Norman 29-yard line. Like at the 27-yard line. Norman needs the Broken Arrow 48 for a 1st down. So it's 3rd down in Yukon here for the Norman Tigers.
This is going to be a great stop here for our defense here. Give us good field position, too.
3 down linemen. 3 receivers in the game for Norman.
See, we're coming after him right here.
Here's a snap. They fake the handoff. McClarty rolling right now, looking back left. He's got an open receiver, and it's caught by Alexander. No, he dropped it at the 42-yard line. Spav, that would have been a 1st down and more, and he just didn't bring it in.
And you were mentioning something like that during halftime here. That was, you could see it right off the bat. It was open right off the bat. We had no one on him at all. It was the back out of the backfield. Kid made a good throw, just couldn't hang on to it.
A good throw under pressure, I might add. He got hit as he let go of that ball, and he gave Devin Alexander a chance to make the play, and Alexander just didn't bring it. He tried to run with it before he caught it.
Boy, we're real fortunate on that play.
That was a 1st down at least, and that kid's quick.
Well, that would have been a touchdown, I think. I mean,
there's a good chance. Whoa, the snap is high, but somehow brought in by the punter. The kick is away. It's a wobbly kick that bounces at the Broken Arrow 41, straight up in the air. Now it takes a Norman hop down to the 40 and eventually down to the 39. That ball nearly went over the head of Zach Stone. Zach Stone, I might add.
He one-handed it.
He did. He is 6'2". So he needed every bit of that to go up and get that football.
And he got it.
And he was able to bring it back down.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, that might have been a touchdown going the other way, or if not, certainly very good field position for the Tigers.
Exactly. And, you know, we have good field position right now, even though that was a good punt.
It was a good punt. 1st and 10 Tigers from their own 39. Sterling Ramsey hands it off to Marion Horn.
Gosh.
The line moved well for him, but he could never find a seam there. It is a gain of 2 because the offensive line was able to push the line of scrimmage forward. But is it just because they're filling the box with so many guys?
Well, I tell you what, they're blocking. Yeah, they have a lot of people at the point of attack, but we're blocking back and pulling linemen, but the back block's not getting there. That lineman is getting off and making the plays.
The Tigers will fall back into a little huddle here. Time briefly called on the field to allow a Norman player to tie his cleat.
There we go.
2nd down and 8. 2 receivers sprint out of the huddle to the right side. The rest of the huddle stays contained. Now they get into the pistol. Hand off to Marion Horn, right side, looking for the seam. Breaks a tackle across the 45-yard line. Can't quite get out of the next tackle. Then he lost the football. Was his forward progress not stopped? The ball is loose on the floor, picked up by Norman, but the whistle apparently had been blown as the officiating crew is still all standing back up here. I was pretty confident that they were going to say Marion Horn's progress had been stopped, but I never heard a whistle.
Well, I think they were right on that, though.
I agree.
I think
the
it was
Norman
stopped
fans do not agree.
Well, he had the forward progress, and then as he was going back, you know, the play was already over.
Yeah, I will say, give a lot of credit to Luke Morrow, who made the stop there for Norman. It's pretty tough to square up Marion Horn and tackle him, wrap him up like that one-on-one in space, and it was a very nice tackle.
Exactly, it was.
The Tigers got the 1st down. It was marked at the 49-yard line, 1st and 10 Broken Arrow from there. 2 receivers right, 2 tight ends right. Unbalanced formation here. Here's the snap. Ramsey wants to lob it back over the left side. It's up in the air, and it is intercepted by Norman at the 35-yard line. It was well covered on the backside. A jump ball was floated up there. Stieber went up to try to get it but couldn't quite pull it down, and Norman is the team that brings it in instead.
God, I thought they were going to throw to the wheel route over here.
I thought so too.
Not saying that wasn't a good selection there, but
well, and again,
kid made a good play.
It looks like the right idea, that just something didn't quite fall into place on that play. I mean, you would expect Stieber to be wide open on a play like that. It seems like Norman has been kind of a step ahead of most of these plays.
Yes.
1st and 10 Norman now from its own 34 as Norman avoids falling down by further. And now a handout to Alexander left side. Got room across the 40. Now to the 45. Stiff arms a man and has run out of bounds near midfield.
But see how he stops his feet?
Yep.
I mean, that was a great play and a good run, but he stops his feet instead of just making that wiggle, that cut, you know.
1st and 10 Norman from midfield. Moving right to left. Broken Arrow leads 7-6. Under 8 to play in the 3rd quarter. It's the first interception that Sterling Ramsey has thrown in a couple games. Check that. It's his first interception he's thrown this year. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. McClarty running it himself left side. He's got space into Broken Arrow territory. Across the 40, and he breaks out of the huddle inside the 20-yard line and is dropped down at the 17. There was a grouping of players there at about the first down marker, and suddenly he broke out the far side of it.
That was the first time I have seen him actually have yards after contact.
Yeah. So now Norman threatening to take the lead after the turnover. 1st and 10 Norman Tigers from the Broken Arrow 17. Ball in the left hash. 3 tight ends in the game. Check that, just 2. 2 receivers split out right. And it is Devin Alexander in the backfield next to Tyus McClarty, who has now run the ball 11 times for 85 yards after that 33-yard carry a moment ago. Motion left to right from the 2 tight ends. So 4 players on the right side of the formation here. The snap. Was it too late? No, it was a delay of game.
Going to run a counter there.
Counter right or counter left?
Counter left.
Counter left. So move everybody to the right side of the formation. Counter left.
Mm-hmm. But it was I wasn't sure if it was going to have a seam or not because they whistled it too early, but
makes it 1st and 15 out to the 23-yard line. And will this give Broken Arrow the chance to keep points off the board here now that they've backed up behind the chains? 1st and 15. Handoff left side. Alexander dancing. Not a lot of space. Wrapped up eventually by Jacob Jennings. And it's just about a yard gain, maybe 2, down near the 21-yard line. Jacob Jennings, Spav, hadn't played in a few weeks. Returned last week to have 8 tackles, 3 of them solo, and an interception. Quite a return to the field last week for Jacob Jennings.
It was awesome. Well, but they were trying to run the counter again. They just went right to the same formation, ran the counter. The only difference is they didn't shift them over. They just lined them up over there.
2nd down and 14. Ball in the left hash still for Norman. 6.5 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter. That is absolutely flying by.
I know. It just seems like every time we get in the red zone, both teams, they have penalties or do something that's going to shoot them in the foot.
Here's the snap. McClarty hands it to Alexander. Room over the right side. Inside the 15-yard line. He's got the corner. 10, 5, touchdown Norman. And the Norman Tigers go on top of Broken Arrow at home.
Oh, wow. I don't see any flags either.
The light show going off here in Norman as the Broken Arrow offense will now have to respond coming up in just a moment. PAT, will it be a PAT or do you go for 2 here, Spav?
Yes. But, they responded. Now we have to respond. They had some adversity there, some penalties. They responded. Now we need to come and do that.
PAT units on to try to make this a 6-point game. Or will it be a fake? Snap back. There's a whistle. Ball down. The kick was on the way in. Nearly got blocked again. A flag came in from the far side. Not sure if Broken Arrow was lined up in the neutral zone. Sure enough, encroachment on Broken Arrow.
Now's the time for go for 2.
Yeah, you're a yard and a half away now.
I know. It's a lot better opportunity.
Quarterback Reed. I mean, being up 6 doesn't do you a lot of good against a team that's 31 of 32 on PATs this year.
No, you want to be 14-7.
PAT unit still on.
I don't see this.
The ball's still on the 10-yard line, so now he's got to snap it.
I know the game's early. But the reason is it is early.
Snap was high, ball down, kick on the way. Tigers were close again, but this time it's up and through, and that makes it 13-7 in favor of Norman. The Norman Tigers will kick off coming up.
Right.
Madison Dildine had a report for us a moment ago. We got busy with that drive, so let's go down to the sidelines now in Madison.
Yeah, guys, I listened into our defensive backs huddle before that last drive, and Coach King said you got to see the guy and then break, and you have to communicate. We're good, just keep playing and bring your own energy, guys.
Thank you, Madison and Spav. Those defensive backs have a real challenge in front of them in this game because Tyus McClarty can run the ball well at quarterback. So they've got a lot of decisions to make and try to not get beat deep, but also come up and help in run support.
Right. And a good point what Madison said was communication. You know, it's the key. It's the key to this game because, you know, it's the ultimate team sport, as we talked about earlier, and everybody has to be on the same page, and you have to communicate. If one person's off, the play's not successful. So communication is really the key.
Well, one thing that this Broken Arrow team has done pretty well all season is respond to adversity. And there's a big opportunity for that offense to do that here.
Right, no doubt.
And Sterling Ramsey in particular, he hasn't thrown an interception this year. How will he respond coming out on this next drive?
I know. And, you know, this has been a turnover-free game, except for right there at the end where they intercepted the ball. It's been turnover-free. And you have to win the turnover battle in games like this.
Close games, especially road games on the west side of the state, can get wonky.
Yeah,
and we're seeing a little bit of that today. We saw that a lot at Westmore, too.
Now, is that a word?
Wonky? It is in my vocabulary.
I've never heard that before. That's great.
Here's another onside kick, essentially, that rolls to the near side, covered up at the 36 by the Tigers, and they'll start there 1st and 10. Well, that's just a goofy kick, and you get the sense, Spav, that they're trying to, I mean, if that spins just the right way, it's going to come turned back towards the kickoff team. It's a little concerning, to be honest.
It's crazy.
Good field position for Broken Arrow again. Spav, the Tigers' average field position has been at their own 37, but they've only been able to score on one drive.
Yes.
Conversely, Norman's average field position is on its own 23, and Norman has scored twice on drives of 80 and 66 yards. Ramsey's going to throw it again, launching it at the left side. There's a man in coverage, but it is incomplete. It got to the hands of Spears Jennings, but he had to come back for it, and he couldn't quite get there and pick it up. Now there's a little more chattering between Spears Jennings and the man that was in coverage on that far side, Luke Morrow, who had the interception a moment ago.
Well, it was just behind him. You know, I think he had the edge on him. Just the ball's a little bit behind him.
Trips left on the wide side of the field. Marion Horn is split out as a receiver here, it would appear. There's a snap. They fake the handoff up the middle and allow a lot of room for Sterling Ramsey, breaking a tackle over the right side, and he drags the defender inside the Norman 45, brought down at the 43. There's that quarterback run game, Spav.
I love to see that. You can just see what happened. They were running the stretch play up there, and he pulls it. And they had everybody going because you got one of the best running backs in the state back there. I mean, everybody's going to go towards him.
One receiver to either side, one tight end to either side. Now Stever moves right to left as the tight end. Hand off to Marion Horn, looking for the corner. He's got it across the 40-yard line, tripped up and brought down for a gain of about 6 yards.
Oh, he fumbled.
The ball popped out, but I think, boy, I thought he was signaling that he was down.
God, I wish we had replay here. It's on the far side.
Well, I thought that the official signaled that he was down. I thought he was waving his arms, and I never saw him point towards Norman's direction. We'll hear from the officials.
See what they decide.
Well, there's a hold on Broken Arrow. The penalty is declined, and it's first down Norman. Oh, boy.
That's 2 turnovers in a row
back to
back. Drives. You're right.
Norman takes over 1st and 10 from its own 39 this time.
After the fumble, Norman takes over 1st and 10. And they're up 37.
Now the Tiger defense has to come up with the stop.
Right. We need a negative yards.
McClarty fakes the handoff, wants to throw. Pump fakes, he's under pressure, rolling to his left, still rolling, now dumps it over the near side, and it is caught just past midfield for a 1st down. Excellent catch from Eric Lambert. Coverage by Spears Jennings.
It was great coverage. He just made a heck of a play behind his back.
That is not an easy catch.
No.
The
it's
last
not an easy throw either.
The last 3 drives for the Tigers have ended with a turnover on downs, an interception, and a fumble.
Right.
A lot of red on the drive chart for Broken Arrow. 1st and 10, Norman from the Broken Arrow 46 now. Here's the snap. The ball's loose on the floor, and it's picked up by the Tigers. Broken Arrow forces the fumble and jumps on it. Jacob Jennings with his 2nd turnover forced in the last 2 games. And Broken Arrow gets it back near midfield.
Oh, we needed that so bad. We needed the turnover. See, it's 2 turnovers to 1, so we're still -1 in the turnover battle,
but now you give yourself a chance to go back and take the lead again.
Absolutely, in great field position here. Let's go.
Looked like trouble on the exchange, Spav.
Exactly, it was.
I don't know if McClarty just held onto the ball too long or couldn't get it out of the arms of Alexander or what the deal was.
Yeah, nature of that offense where you have to read.
1st and 10, Broken Arrow from its own 46. Ramsey takes the snap, looking to throw, launches it up the left side. He let it go early this time. Spears Jennings underneath it, but he can't quite bring it in. Jacob Jennings was lined up as a receiver on the near side that time.
That's a good ball. It's just
Spears Jennings has been frustrated a little bit offensively. 3 catches, but on 8 targets now. He's only brought in 3 of them. 2nd down and 10. 2 receivers left, 1 right.
Oh, they're coming.
Tigers are averaging about 4.8 yards per carry. That's well under their season average as a team of a little better than 6 yards a carry on the year. Dump pass to the near side to Horn. Looking to get him in space, there wasn't any. He was able to fight through 2 tacklers, but not the 3rd. Give him a gain of maybe 2. It'll be 3rd down and a long 8.
You know, they played well. They had, we had the screen game there, which is what I love, and they played it well.
Looked like the linemen just weren't able to get out there to it. 3rd down and 8. What are the Tigers going to do here? 2 receivers left, including Spears Jennings in the slot. Marion Horn in the backfield. Tigers trailing 13-7 with 4:40 to play in the 3rd. Here's the snap. Ramsey looking left. Fires it over the left side. It's high enough. It's caught at the 30-yard line by Spears Jennings. Brought down at the 27. It's a 1st down for Broken Arrow, and the Tigers are back in business. Check that. It was Fox on the catch.
What a great play. Gosh, I mean, that was a good throw, a good catch, a good route, just a good play selection.
A little corner route out of the slot
there.
Great
protection because they were blitzing.
The most cohesive pass play we've seen.
Correct.
1st and 10, Broken Arrow from the Norman 26, trying to reclaim the lead. Handoff Marion Horn. Can he find more space? Breaks a tackle inside the 20, stacked up at the 20, that is, and brought down there, but it is a gain of 6 on the run, bringing up 2nd down and 4. Broken Arrow scored its only touchdown in the 2nd quarter. Right now, the Tigers are being outgained 232 to 198.
Still getting a little chippy down there. They're talking a lot of trash to each other.
It has been a very competitive game, and it's led to some of those extra words. 2 receivers left. Fox in the slot. Split out to the left side. Is Luke McGowan, or is that Antonio Jones?
Oh, throw it right there.
Quick pass left side, caught by Jones. 1st down yardage inside the 15, now down to the 10.
Love it.
And it'll be 1st and goal from the Norman 9 as R.J. Spears Jennings checks back into the game.
See, that's great. You throw that little hitch route out there, and you're going to play off the ball, throw the hitch route. He's going to make a lot of yards after catch.
Jones limping over to the sideline. Split out to the right side now is Fox. Spears Jennings split left. Pistol set. Motion from right to left from Stever, the tight end, a whistle and a timeout. No, not a timeout, just a stoppage. Officials timeout. Interesting. R.J. Spears-Jennings may have dropped his mouthpiece down there, it sounds like. Pistol set. One tight into either side. Stever now motions to the left side. Here's the snap.
Oh, there we go.
And up at the middle of the
There
horn.
we go.
Burst through the line of scrimmage. Inside the 5. Diving towards the end zone. Touchdown. Broken Arrow. Marion Horn puts the Tigers back in a tied position.
Not a flag.
And the PAT is coming, but a flag down back at the 8-yard line.
God, what a great play. You could see it develop right when he handed the ball off.
And there was no hesitation in that run from Horn. He got the ball and was in a dead sprint.
Right. And that's what I was talking about, like the way he attacks the line of scrimmage. That's what their tailback needs to do.
The touchdown counts. It was a personal foul against Norman. That'll be assessed on the ensuing kickoff. And the Tigers with a point after attempt here. Whoa, we just had a flag coming out of nowhere. Right in the middle at the line of scrimmage.
They're pointing to them. They're removing somebody.
Yeah, and somebody's coming off the field for Norman.
Gosh.
That's Fred Richmond, the junior defensive lineman, who was having words with his coaches as he came off the field, too. So that'll now be 30 yards worth of penalties on the ensuing kickoff.
So do you think an onside would be the best?
You have to.
I know.
See, this is where my dad and I have always thought that you should get a point if you can kick it through the uprights on the kickoff. Because now that could be worth another point for Broken Arrow, because you just be lining up at the 30 trying to kick it through the goalpost.
I always thought the same thing, too.
The PAT would give the Tigers the lead back. Currently tied at 13 with 3:14 to play in the third quarter in what's been a back-and-forth turnover-prone third quarter for both teams.
See, that's why I couldn't figure out why they didn't go for
two.
I know the game was early, but you're on the 1.5. That's the only reason I would have done it.
I'm with you. Yeah, I can understand it. Once you get that penalty and you get down to the 1.5, might as well go for it.
Yeah.
For the lead, snap
When you
back,
need
ball
one.
down, kick away, and it is good. 14-13 Broken Arrow as the visiting Tigers climb back on top. A good sign from Broken Arrow as the flags move their way onto the field. Is that the first three guys running flags tonight are in suits? Maybe they're all in suits. Oh, somebody went down. We got a flag man down. It's just been that kind of night over here on the west side of the state. In any case, Broken Arrow leads 14-13.
You know, and it just feels like we're not.
Well, the Tigers
because
are
we had
being
the two
outgained.
turnovers. We had the two turnovers, but thankfully we got that other turnover there, and we capitalized on it.
Well, and
It's
again,
just-
the Tigers have not been great in turning turnovers into points this year. And
Yes,
that feels like
that's
a
a
big
good
time
point.
to get it done right there. You had fallen behind.
Right.
You get the turnover, you go down and capitalize on it, reclaim the lead. That's a momentum changer for sure.
Correct.
So the ball will be marked to kick off at the 30-yard line.
Be sure to fill out the raffle drawing ticket today.
So, Spav, there's absolutely no reason here. In order to recover an onside kick, the ball has to go 10 yards. So
Is
that
he
would
going to mark off more?
That would be to the 20-yard or to the.
This is crazy.
He's having to wave the Tiger kickoff team over to the other end of the field.
Because we're going to kick off from
the 30.
20, from the 30.
Nope, guys, you are kicking to the short side of the field. I know it feels weird. The kickoff team feels like they need to be kicking it the other way. And the officials having to convince them, yes, you are kicking to the short side of the field here.
God, I've never seen
So if you
this
onside
before.
kick here, it has to roll to the 20 anyway in order to give yourself a chance to get it. So there's no reason not to have an onside here.
No, and
Ball's teed up at the 30.
I mean, what's he going to do? I mean, try for an onside. Let's see.
There's the kick, dribble to the left side. It is covered up, it looks like, at the 17-yard line. But that's the worst case scenario right there on that onside kick.
Perfect. I mean, he'd get a larger gain if he kicked it out of the end zone. He'd be on the 20.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10 Norman from its own 17. The Tigers.
Now, where would it, if you got those penalties and you were kicking from the 30 and you kick it right out of bounds?
It'd be at the, no,
Does it go to the 35?
Would it go to the 35?
I don't know.
I think it would. That would be unfortunate.
Yeah.
Norman shifts 2 tight ends from the left to the right, so 4 skill players on the right side now. Hand off to Alexander, trying the left side. He's wrapped up and brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Yeah, they had success with that play earlier. That's what the one they broke. And
Jacob Jennings gets the stop. 2nd down and 10. And now, defensively, you have a chance to really put the clamps on here. You got them backed up in their own territory.
Game, right.
You forced a turnover on the last drive. You can really put your offense in a good spot here to extend this lead. 2:43 to play in the 3rd, and the Tigers lead by 1. The Broken Arrow Tigers, that is. Motion to the left side this time. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers left. Here's the snap. They hand it off to Alexander. Breaks an arm tackle at the line of scrimmage, pushing his way forward out to about the 20. It's a gain of 3, and it brings up 3rd down and 7. And this is one, Spav, where you can have a real chance to get off the field defensively and give your offense the ball around midfield.
Yes, and that's exactly what we want.
Whoop, Tigers have a man down.
Well, they've been running that counter and had some success.
Is that Marion Horn?
Yeah.
We're having a hard time seeing the number. No, that is not Marion Horn. It's Jalen Franklin, which isn't necessarily a whole lot better. Franklin looks like he might be cramping. Third down and 7 for Norman. Brief stoppage on the field. The Norman student section below us is in full-on Halloween garb. I see a bottle of mustard roaming around down there. Saw a couple of blow-up dinosaurs. There's a hot dog. That fits with the mustard. Keeping it thematic.
After the break, it's 3rd down for Norman.
3rd and 7, ball on the 20.
All right, come on, D.
2 receivers right, 1 left, tight end right. Now motion across the formation from right to left from Lambert, the H-back.
They're either throwing it or the quarterback run game.
McClarty takes the snap, wants to throw left, tucks it, now sprinting out of the pocket left side, wants to run. Across the 25, 1st down yardage out to the 40. Breaks a tackle, out to midfield, and he's pushed out of bounds.
Oh, man, that's just containing the quarterback.
Yep.
And that's what's tough about quarterbacks that carry the football, is now you know they're throwing the ball. You got to play coverage. And you let an athlete out on the loose, it's just hard to come up and make the plays.
1st and 10 from midfield. 2 receivers, make that 3 receivers right. That inside receiver looks like he might be covered up. He's close to the line of scrimmage. They hand the ball off at the middle, so it doesn't matter anyway. Alexander tracked down from behind and brought down for no gain. Again, Jacob Jennings gets his head to the football. I tell you what,
great defense.
Considering Diedrich Moore was lost last week, it is big to have Jacob Jennings back in this lineup right now.
Oh, my gosh, yes. I mean, there's a difference maker.
2nd down and 9. Norman now in Broken Arrow territory at the 49. 1:34 to play in the 3rd quarter. Broken Arrow leading by a point.
Ooh.
Tigers, oh boy. They're going to get Julius McVeigh for jumping into the neutral zone, but he did not get there by much.
No.
That'll make it 2nd down and 4. I mean, he never broke the plane of the football. He might have been in the neutral zone technically, but he only infringed a little bit on his side of it. That's a tough call. 2nd down and 4. Trips right. Here's the snap. Hand off to Alexander, who juggled the ball. He gets rocked and pushed backwards. Jadaean Floyd right with the big hit, and it brings up 3rd down and 4.
Was that not a hit or
that
what?
was a big hit.
Oh, gosh.
Jennings looks like he's got some sort of a stinger dangling his right arm as he jogs off the field. Makai Hanley will come in for him.
You know, it looked like we almost took the handoff off to begin with.
Yeah,
we had a lot
juggled
of
it after the
penetration.
handoff.
Right.
Why is the clock stopped? Injury stoppage. Approaching the 1-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 4. 2 receivers right on the wide side of the field, 2 tight ends left. Tigers looking for a big stop here in their own territory at the 44-yard line. Norman motions the 2 tight ends to the right. So 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers right now on the field side. Here's the snap. They try that reverse again to the tight end. A flag down. Didn't get the first down, but we'll see what that flag is. That might have been 5 men in the backfield again against Norman.
Because something looked off.
Unless there was a Tiger lined up in the neutral zone.
Because you know how they're covering linemen, they're covering receivers up at the top sometimes.
There is no penalty on the play, so the play will stand, but that also means, whoa, did he just say 1st down? It's 4th down and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I just saw his hand motion wrong. It's 4th down.
Well, I thought the same thing.
A whistle on the stoppage. The White Hat's going to talk things over.
Now, see how he put the fist up now?
I think he signaled 1st down, and it wasn't anywhere near a 1st down.
Right.
It's 4th down and 2. And the offense is on the field here for Norman. We might see that pooch kick here. 2 receivers to either side. They'll probably try the hard count first. Got to stay disciplined. Right. There's the hard count. Nothing going on. I think they're going to punt this away. McClarty backs up 2 steps. There's the snap. A little high. The kick is away. It's a good one. Bounces inside the 20, inside the 10, inside the 5, and is downed at the 1-yard line by Eric Lambert. You cannot have executed that better if you're Norman.
That was picture perfect.
There is a flag down, however. Where? It's right on the Norman logo at midfield. Boy, what would that be?
Uniforms for your Norman High Tigers have been provided by Under Armour Gear and Apparel. Thank you, Under Armour.
18 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. The Tigers appear to have the ball back. The chains have not moved yet.
I wish these officials would just make a decision instead of huddling up each time they throw a flag.
Well, now it would have come from the umpire or from the referee. Personal foul on Norman. Personal foul on Broken Arrow. They'll cancel each other out, and we'll go all the way back to the beginning and do that again. Wow, that's actually kind of a penalty for Norman.
A good one. Yeah.
Because for Broken Arrow, you had the ball on the 1-yard line. You had the ball, but it was on the 1. Now you make Norman punt it again. What are the odds they're going to duplicate that result?
They're not. They're not. But now we can go to a man-free type concept and put your free safety back deep.
4th down and 2, trips to the right, 1 receiver left. So it's a little more of a spread formation here for Norman. All right, we haven't seen him punt out of this formation. Motion into the backfield now on the jet sweep, nothing doing. Lambert lines up on the left side this time. They'll change the play at the line of scrimmage. 4th down and 2, backs up again, looking to punt it again, potentially. There's the snap. The kick is away. It's a high, wobbly kick. Hits at the 15. Takes a hop for Norman, and now a neutral roll over towards the side. It's down at the 12-yard line. So that becomes an 11-yard penalty and gets the Tigers off their own doorstep.
Right, exactly.
That's huge.
You get the ball on the 1 to now the 13-yard line. That's awesome. That's perfect for us. I'm just thankful they punted again. I was
Thought
wondering.
they might go for it?
Yes.
I would think most of the folks in the grandstands across from us were concerned about that as well. A decent Tiger fan contingency out here for this game.
Mm-hmm. But you got to look at it. You got 8 seconds left in the quarter, and then they have us.
Tigers up 1.
Backed up deep.
Handoff to Marion Horn. Brent bounces it over the left side. Now is thrown down. If he got anything, it was only about a yard, but I'm not even sure he got that, and that will end the third quarter. The barn burner continues, 14-13 Broken Arrow, as each team puts 7 on the board in the third quarter.
Right now, this is the only defense that is really contained. I mean, since Horn has been a full-time offensive player, this is one of the few times that a defense has kind of controlled him.
Yeah, we've not.
I know he's got his yardage.
He's got, yeah. We say controlled. He's run it for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I know,
on
but
almost 5 yards of carry. But you're right. I mean,
he finds those seams and he's off to the.
He came in averaging almost 9 yards a rush. He's at a little less than 5 tonight. So he looks merely human as opposed to as opposed to ridiculous. We'll take a short break. More coming up on the other side. This is Tiger Football on ArrowVision.
Meet Andrea, a member at TTCU Federal Credit Union.
Hi.
Andrea is one busy person. The last thing she needs is her finances holding her back.
Since I've joined TTCU, I've been able to save even more money. I'm building my emergency fund, and I watch my credit score like a hawk. Thanks for everything, TTCU.
Join Andrea and become a member at TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Back here in Norman, the Tigers have 2nd and 10 to start the quarter. It's a dump pass, screen set up to Marion Horn on the far side. He's got room across the 15, spins away from a tackler, out past the 20, breaks another tackle, and now he's on the loose to the 30, 35-40, and pushed out of bounds at the Broken Arrow 42-yard line.
Oh, there's a flag. That could be on us, for us talking.
Is it down at the end of the play there?
Yes.
Well, that at least means that it'll be a first down for Broken Arrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, what a great run to if it's on us. And, of course, I'm not in our defense. There's just a lot of trash talking going on.
There's been a lot of chirping here.
No,
it is on Norman again. Okay,
yes.
So, Spav, here's what we should say at this juncture. Because there's been some chirping, and in that sense, you would think that the penalties would kind of go both ways. The vast majority of these personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct have been on Norman. That means that says to me that the Tigers are keeping their wits about them, even in those hot situations.
They need to, because
it might be the difference in a game like this.
Yeah, and we're going to go to the playoffs, and they may not.
First down and 10 from the Norman 43 after the penalty. 2 receivers left, 1 right, tight end right. Marion Horn to the left of Sterling Ramsey in the backfield. Here's the snap. Check that. That is not Marion Horn. That is indeed Kyrie Harris, and he runs it for about 2. Down to the 41-yard line.
See, that was just one play and a penalty put us into our own end of the field, and that's what you want.
Marion Horn back into the backfield now. R.J. Spears, Jennings split left. 2nd down and 8. Tigers want to throw it. Good pass over the far side. It is caught. Was he in bounds? Yes, he was. There's another late flag. That one may go against the Tigers, as a couple of guys had a defender pinned to the ground. As it stands, it would be 3rd down and about 3 after a 6-yard gain.
And now, now they got to huddle up again, these officials. Just make the call.
There's still a discussion taking place.
The
Tigers are huddled up kind of near where the line of scrimmage was.
This is longer in the game, is the officials.
Oh, yeah.
How much possession time have the officials have?
There's a 3rd category in there.
Yeah. I shouldn't say that.
Let's see what happens here. Personal foul against Broken Arrow this time. Well, we spoke too soon. There's a personal foul against the Tigers.
Well, I think
it came about 2 yards deep. I think there was some extra blocking on that play.
Well, we pancaked him.
That'll move the ball back to the Broken Arrow 42-yard line. And again, for Norman earlier, it was 1st down and Yukon. For Broken Arrow here, it's only 1st down and more.
Right.
You don't have to quite get to UConn, but it is
That's
about
right.
you do have to get 23 yards here to get a first down. One receiver to either side, 2 tight ends right. After the motion from Will Height. Here's the snap. They fake the handoff, reverse to Spears Jennings, and he's got some space across the 40 to midfield as he stiff arms a man, and he's wrestled out of bounds around the 45-yard line. A very late tackle, and here comes the flag against Norman. That'll move the ball 15 yards forward, and that should be enough to give the Tigers a first down.
Oh, my gosh. Here we are, second and forever, second more.
You start to get the feeling that whoever just reins in their emotions first is going to end up winning the football game.
I know. Just, golly, stop it, guys.
Because from Norman there, you get him out of bounds, it's still third down and 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And then you tackle him clear outside. I mean, there's that 3-yard strip of White across the sideline. That was outside of that strip of White.
I know. I mean, you know, Norman's in this game.
Yeah,
and they're blowing it because of their penalties.
Philly moves the ball down to more than 28 yards.
First and 10 for Broken Arrow now from the Norman 28. 2 receivers left, 2 tight ends right. Shotgun set, motion from R.J. Spears Jennings. Here's the snap, a flag flies. Ramsey under duress, able to get it away. Gives it to Spears Jennings, who is suplexed at the 27-yard line. Give him a gain of 1 on the play, and he's a little bit slow to get up. I think he might have had the wind knocked out of him there.
Yeah.
But again, there's a penalty marker that came down on the near sideline right at the beginning of the play. The penalties are starting to stack up a little bit here. This will be 15 penalties combined.
Well, we're still under what we normally get when we come to the west side. That's usually over 20. And we still got a whole
against
quarter
the Tigers. It was an illegal motion, so that'll move the ball back to the 33-yard line, first and 15. Split out by himself on the right side is Joshua Wilhite. We don't see that very often. Will we see him motion into the formation? There's 3 tight ends on the field right now, technically. Here's the snap on first and 15. Handoff to Horn, looking to cut it right, no room. Trying to spin away from a tackle, but he can't quite do it. He's brought down for a loss of 1, back to the 34.
That backer played it well. Their backers are playing a lot better than I anticipated.
And they've been sure tacklers.
Yes.
It's to consistently wrap up Marion Horn like this is pretty tough to do. Hand off to Horn again. More room this time over the right side of the 30. A little extra room out past the 25, runs into his own blocker, and he's brought down around the 24-yard line. A gain of about 10 on the play.
Very nice run.
10:05 remaining. Broken Arrow leads 14-13. This brings up third down from the 24. Call it third down and 6.
All right, come on now.
Receiver to either side, tight end to either side in the pistol. Ramsey trying to get him with the hard count. A little motion, but apparently not enough into the neutral zone to draw a flag. Ramsey changing the play, now drops into the shotgun. Horn to his right. Here's the snap. They hand it off. Horn trying the left side. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Stacked up. Pushed backwards. And he lost a yard. Back to the 25-yard line. That would make this a 42-yard field goal. I tell you what, that defensive front for Norman has been stout tonight.
They have. They played very well, especially the second half. They've controlled somewhat. There's just so many penalties. It's kind of hard to.
I think you move the pocket here for Ramsey. Roll him out to the field side and give him a chance to run it if he wants to.
Right.
Because the offense is still on the field. That's his right is his throwing side, so it's a strong side as well. Here's a snap. Does want to throw it. Zings it over the near side. It's juggled but caught by Spears Jennings inside the 15-yard line and brought down at the 12. The defender looked like he had broken it up. Spears Jennings came back to the ball and was able to reel it in, and now a late flag.
That's going to be on Norman again. Mouthing off.
It looked like the official was kind of exasperated that he had to throw the flag there.
I know. It's like, come on, guys.
Spears Jennings did make a first down motion, but if they flag that, that'd be pretty weak, unless he said something after that.
That was a great play. Run that curl in there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the defensive guy overran it.
Personal foul and sportsmanlike conduct against Broken Arrow. So something said after that first down. But since it was after the play, it's still a first down at least.
Right.
Honestly, Spav, if that ball is 3 more yards out in front of Spears Jennings, it might be a touchdown.
Exactly.
Because it takes that defender out of the equation.
I know. Because he forced him to stop in there.
You hit him in stride, he's going to run away from that guy trying to run with him. So the first down will stand because it was after the play.
Mm-hmm.
Now you move the ball back all the way to the Broken Arrow 28-yard line. Broken Arrow needs the 3-yard line of Norman to get a first down. Check that. No, they'll move the chains back, so it'll be 1st and 10.
Oh.
Well, that's convenient. So it's 1st and 10 just at the 28 instead of the 13. But the Broken Arrow Tigers maintain possession, 8:40 to play in the game, and Broken Arrow leads Norman by a point here on the road. 2 receivers and a tight end right. Motion from Marion Horn. They fake the handoff. Flags everywhere.
Man.
As that's a false start against Broken Arrow.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 33-yard line. First down and 15 for Broken Arrow.
Makes it 1st down and 15 for BA now. 2 receivers right, 1 left, tight end left. And there's motion against Norman. And we'll go back the other way 5 yards.
Go back 1st and 10.
What is the movie with the animals in New York and they end up going to Africa and Madagascar? As the zebra says in Madagascar, circus.
Yeah. Oh gosh, how many penalties now?
We're up to
20 yet?
We're up to 18, but I think Skip told me there were 2 that didn't get put on the stat sheet, so I think we are up to 20 technically. 1st and 10. Tigers want to throw it. Deep pass at the right side, looking for the end zone. It is caught! Touchdown! Broken Arrow! What a catch from R.J. Spears Jennings!
That was excellent.
Spears Jennings was well covered, turned around and somehow caught that ball, and the official took a minute to put his arms up. I wasn't sure if he had actually hauled it in or not.
I know.
What a catch. Spears Jennings puts the Tigers up 7, and the PAT would make it 8 with 8:03 to go.
Now that was a hard-earned touchdown.
Yeah.
Of all the penalties and stuff that happened.
PAT on its way, and it is good. The Tigers of Broken Arrow lead the Tigers of Norman by 8 here in Norman, 21-13. Spav, that was a 9-play, 87-yard drive that took 4 minutes and 5 seconds of clock. It took about 30 minutes of our lives. There was so many reviews and penalties and timeouts. It took forever, but the Tigers get it done and get the ball in the end zone to extend the lead to 8.
Right.
Let's go down to the sidelines in Madison Dildine. Madison, what's the atmosphere like down there right now?
Yeah, guys, the Jungle Squad has actually moved from the other end zone to the 50-yard line, trying to get this crowd and more involved in the game and get the energy up. The guys are feeling, it looks like they're refreshed because they just got some momentum, guys.
Probably a little bit of a sigh of relief having finally gotten to punch the ball in the end zone. I do like the effort of the student section moving down in front of the away fans, though, to try to jazz up some energy a little bit. Can always appreciate full-on effort from the Jungle Squad. Got a long pause waiting for this next kickoff. Remember the last time the Tigers kicked the ball off, it came at the Norman 30-yard line. This time it'll be from the Broken Arrow 35. It'll be a little more standard, the 40 rather.
Tonight's uniforms for your Norman High Tigers have been provided by Under Armour.
Greg Spencer just sent us a photo. He's passing out flags like Oprah Winfrey. You get a flag, and you get a flag. I would be interested to know what the total flag count was specifically on that drive.
Oh, I know. That would be it.
It had to be 6 or 7.
Oh, yeah, at least.
Number 29, Luke Mora.
Well, the Tigers had the ball teed up at the 40 with a newly minted 8-point lead. Still within a possession, though, are the Norman Tigers. Kick is away. It's high and short. Be caught at the 11-yard line for Norman. Out to the 15, trying to return it to the right side, looking for the edge. Here comes the kick coverage, and he's brought down at the 20-yard line. Might as well have been a touchback.
Well, I'm
excellent coverage for the Tigers.
Oh, gosh. It was like, did they block anybody? I mean, we had the whole team right there ready to make tackle. Great coverage. I love it.
Norman forced a turnover, went down and scored, forced another turnover, and then the defense has stepped up since for the Tigers, forcing a turnover and then forcing a punt to allow Broken Arrow to regain the lead and then extend the lead. Now, can they get another stop? Run to the right side. Alexander breaking tackles across the 25, thrown out of bounds around the 27-yard line. On the stop that time was Mitchell Banning. And it's an 8-yard gain, brings up 2nd down and 2. Norman quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Norman doesn't want to run just a ton of time off the clock here unless they can run all 7.5 minutes before scoring.
Well, they've been averaging probably 5 minutes a drive.
Yep.
You know, when they scored. Yeah.
There's been some long drives in this game. Trips left to the wide side of the field. Here's the snap on 2nd and 2. Wanted to throw it deep. Steps up, now wants to run with it. Does McClarty over the left side to midfield. He's got some space to the 45. Now the Broken Arrow 40. Breaks the tackle inside the 30 and finally flung down at the Broken Arrow 26-yard line. Excellent run from Tyus McClarty. He does. And he stayed in the pocket for, in my opinion at least, was the correct amount of time. Running was not his first option there, but he knew when he couldn't find anybody downfield that he had space.
Exactly.
McClarty has thrown the ball, Spav, for 50 yards and run it for 161 after that 46-yard tote. Longest run of the game by either team. And here's a flag. Broken Arrow jumped. It'll be 1st and 5 for Norman now from down near the Broken Arrow 21. 7:23 to play.
Well, McClarty's he's averaged 11.5 yards a carry, am I right?
Yep. He's been the best ball runner of the game.
Yes.
1st down and 5 for Norman.
First and 5 for Norman from the Broken Arrow 21, moving left to right. Broken Arrow in the white uniforms with black helmets. Norman, black uniforms with black helmets. Orange trim. Motion from left to right. 2 tight ends on the right side of the formation now for Norman. Here's a whistle and another flag. Delay of game against Norman will make it 1st and 10. So
we're over 20.
Norman got Broken Arrow to jump to make it 1st and 5 and then didn't get the play called in time. And it moves it back to 1st and 10.
Penalty moves the ball out to the 26-yard line.
Sheesh.
Gosh.
We're now officially on the stat computer 20 penalties.
Yeah. Well, we're welcome to the west side.
You had to throw that number out there, Spav.
I'm sorry.
1st and 10 for Norman from the Broken Arrow 26. Fake handoff, McClarty trying it himself over the right side. Trying to turn the corner. He is grabbed by the jersey and spun down backwards. Thought they might get him for a horse collar, to be honest. Instead, it's no gain at the 26-yard line. And here comes a very late flag.
That's on
Goodness
That's
gracious.
on them, I mean.
What is that, 7 penalties after the play at this point tonight?
Was that – now we're going to have to huddle up for 5 minutes, but then – I think they were trash talking.
At some point, as we wait for this penalty to be called here, it is a personal foul against Norman. If you're head coach Rocky Martin for Norman, you got to get your guys together and say, cut this out. You're going to lose us the game.
Exactly, I know.
I mean,
they're driving to win the game.
That's
or have a chance to tie it, I should say.
The Broken Arrow, okay, Broken Arrow had one too, so it's offsetting. But still, in that case, if you're Norman, if you don't offset that, then you got the ball inside the 15-yard line.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 again. Run over the right side by McClarty, dragging a couple of defenders. He's got a few. down near the 22-yard line. Brings up second down and a long 5. You know, and Spav, these numbers in here, the 11 penalties for Norman and the 9 for Broken Arrow, those don't count all the offsetting fouls, of which that's happened about 3 times.
Yes, that's true.
Third down and 5 for Norman.
It'll be 3rd and 5? Shouldn't it be 2nd and 5? That was 2nd down. All right, 3rd and 5. Trips left, now a tight end left as well, and the running back is to the left side of McClarty in the formation. McClarty wants to throw, steps up in the pocket, tucks it, now launches it over the near side. It's incomplete, too far out in front of him. McClarty tried to get rid of it at the last second. He was hit hard by Briley Ferguson, who then helped him up off the turf as well. Good sportsmanship.
So 4th and 5, what are they going to do here?
4th down and 5. Norman is down by 8. I think you got to go for it. Their longest field goal of the year is 32
about that
yards.
Yardage, so that would be.
This would be, let's see, you snapped to the 20. That'd be a 38-yarder.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they've got a kicker with the leg.
Yeah.
Fourth and 5 for Norman. Now, even if Norman doesn't get it here, the game is by no means over. There's still 6 minutes left on the clock, and it's an 8-point game. A whistle and a timeout called by Broken Arrow. That's the Tigers' first time out of the second half.
Looks like we were just in a man-free concept, so we're probably putting some pressure on them, which I would too.
New name, same grade team. Ortho Central is a proud supporter of Norman Public.
But with a running quarterback, you got to be careful with your pressures.
Whether it's a strain, a tear, or a break, the pros at Ortho Central will get you back in the game. For an appointment call.
Yeah, you got to. You kind of have to blitz with caution a little bit, so to speak.
Yes, no doubt.
Reynolds Ford of Norman is proud to sponsor the Norman High MVP of the game. Please stick around at the end of the game to see the winner receive their MVP game ball trophy.
If you're Norman here, you haven't run the ball with just an immense amount, or you haven't thrown the ball, that is, with just an immense amount of success.
Right.
Norman High would like to thank their corporate sponsors, Corner Copy, Chick-fil-A, Kim's Alteration.
So I'm interested to see what they do here. From scores from around the league, Santa Fe leading Enid 28-19. Union leading Southmore 42-0. Norman North over Edmond North 35-17. And then UConn leading Westmore 23-15 in the third quarter. Jinx up big over Edmond Memorial 35-0. Shout out to the folks at Squirtle for helping us out with some scores there. 4th and 5 for Norman. Norman trails Broken Arrow by 8. It's 4th and 5 from the Broken Arrow 21. This might be trick play time here for Norman. Whatever you've got in your bag that you haven't shown, this is the time to break it out. Tried the hard count, it didn't work. Tyus McClarty goes to the line, changes the play. Drops back into the shotgun, takes the snap. Rolling to his left, looking, now throws it back to the near side. They're looking for that wheel route again. A leaping attempt, it's incomplete. The Tigers in good coverage. There were 3 players there to guard the wheel route that time.
I think we figured that
out. They had it sniffed out that time around. Leading the way, I believe, was Heath Jones. Either that or Clayton Alford. There's 2 number 16s listed on the Tiger roster, and they're both listed as wide receivers, so I'm not sure which one was there that time. I'm going to guess that was Clayton Alford. He looks more 6'2", 175.
Right. That was just a great defense there.
So now 1st and 10, Broken Arrow from its own 21. And now Broken Arrow has a chance to go put this game away.
Right. Let's go.
One receiver splits right. Fox splits left.
That's it.
There's a snap, handoff Marion Horn right side. Trying to turn the corner. He's tripped up, but he does gain about 6, maybe 7 yards out near the 28-yard line.
See how he keeps pressure in the line of scrimmage? I just love the way he runs. He's always going to find, and he's going to do it quickly, find a seam.
2nd down, quick pass to the far side. It's caught. 1st down yardage across the 35 and brought down around the 40-yard line. Who was that on the catch that time? Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. I think that was Caleb Young.
I think so.
Looks like 81. Here's the snap, handoff to Horn, trying to find the edge on the far side. Across the 45-yard line, tripped up around midfield. That could be 1st down yardage again for Broken Arrow.
I just love what we're doing. This tempo is awesome.
Tigers into Norman territory at the 49, leading by 8.
We're not giving them a chance to think here.
Broken Arrow's quickly moved the ball from its own 21 into Norman territory. Handoff up the middle. Horn breaks a tackle, breaks another, and now he's on the loose. Marion Horn to the 20, the 15, 10, 5, into the Norman Knight. Touchdown, Broken Arrow, and the Tigers go up by 2 scores.
That's my buddy right there, man. I'm telling you. Did he make a great cut?
He made a great cut, and then he broke about 4 tackles on that play, too.
Boy, he made just a perfect jump cut and just took off.
Spav, how many times tonight have we said it feels like the Tigers are one broken tackle away from breaking one of these runs, and finally Marion Horn is able to break one for 49 yards.
And, you know, it wasn't like he wasn't successful to begin with.
The kick is away, and it is good. Broken Arrow now leads by 15, 28-13 with 5:04 to play, and finally Broken Arrow has some breathing room.
But they had their chance.
Yep.
And they blew it because of penalties.
Marion Horn now has 29 carries for 184 yards, and he's averaging 6.3 yards a carry now on the night. He is only 16 yards from carrying the ball for 200 or more yards in 3 consecutive games since entering the starting lineup as a running back.
But, you know, he was being very successful as a running back in the first 3 quarters, you know, doing what he needed to do and having some good yards. It just didn't seem like what we've seen before. You know, he's always had that one play where he just pops it and goes.
Well, and
he finally got it here.
We talked about this a while ago. It is very difficult to consistently wrap up Marion Horn, especially for 4 quarters. And frankly, Norman had done a pretty good job of doing that up to that point. And finally, he was able to wear him down a little bit and break.
They were controlling him.
Yeah.
You know, you can't stop him. They were controlling him until now. It's like he was determined. You could just see it in it.
Ball teed up at the 40 by Caleb Young. Broken Arrow now leads by 15, and the kick is away. It's a high end-over-end kick, caught back at the 4-yard line, returned up the near hash, trying to break to the right side, a little room across the 20, cuts inside across the 30-yard line, and his ankle tackled there. Got his way out to the 33-yard line. I am not sure. That was Noah Butler who made the tackle that time.
It's a pretty good return.
PA guy just announced that was Dietrich Moore on the tackle. That was unfortunately, I wish it would have been Dietrich Moore. That would have been nice to have happen, but
I'd love to have him
sadly it is not. 1st and 10 Norman from its own 33 with the Tigers of Broken Arrow now leading by 15. 2 receivers to either side. Now Norman's going to have to get out of its game plan a little bit. Tucking in is McClarty. Now he can run across the 35, pump fakes, and out past the 40. Ooh, hit hard, and there's a late flag. Got him a little high.
McClarty on the keeper has a Norman first down.
Elisha Wilson, I think, is the guy who ended up getting the late flag. That wasn't as late as some of the ones we've seen, but it was still late.
I know. It was in the white.
Dead ball. Personal foul. We only into the run.
That'll be tacked on to the end of the run, and then move the ball well into Tiger territory. Let's go down to the sideline, and Madison Dildine, who has an update for us from the far sidelines. Madison.
Yeah, guys, Dietrich is over here on the bench, all bundled up. It's really cold down here, and just laughing at the PA guy, like, dude, you have no idea.
I think we can give him credit for willing his way to a tackle even from the sideline there. 1st and 10 now for Norman from the Broken Arrow 38. McClarty tucking it, wants to run, now does run across the 35-yard line and tiptoes out of bounds around the 33. Gain of about 6. Brings up 2nd down. Norman trailing by 15, and the Tigers have to put it in and then try to get an onside kick.
Well, obviously we're doing a good job with coverage because the quarterback has to
run
a
bunch.
The football.
Yep. Handoff this time to Alexander, breaks a tackle at the 30, sandwiched at the 28-yard line and brought down there. That's very close to a first down, but I think he might be just short from the angle that we have up here.
I think they are too. Yeah. He's winding the clock, I think. Yeah.
Third down and inches for Norman. Trips left on the wide side of the field. Norman moving left to right, tight end right. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. McClarty takes it himself. Tries to break a tackle. Spins away from a man. First down yardage down to around the 26-yard line, and he's pushed out of bounds there. Wasn't a big game, but it was enough to move the chains. And Norman trying to stay within striking distance as the clock runs here in the fourth quarter. 4:08 to play. Tigers have come up with a couple of big stops here in the fourth quarter. It's not been a perfect game, but the Tigers of Broken Arrow have made the plays when they've needed to.
Exactly.
Here's the snap, handout to Alexander, working his way over the right side. Down inside the 20, it's a gain of about 8. Down near the 17-yard line. Solid run on the play that time from Devin Alexander, who's run the ball pretty well. 21 carries for, actually now 22 carries for about 111 yards. Second down and 2.
Run brings up second down for Norman.
What was that? Wind the clock. Here we go.
Running the clock at the 17-yard line. Oh, now a whistle from the Broken Arrow sideline and a timeout. Shout out to Sean Morgan, who's tuned into ArrowVision tonight.
Yeah, just Sean Morgan is our PA guy, so he's wanting us to control the.
I would like to say that he is an angel and perfect. He's never made a mistake. Take what he says to the bank.
He says,
Me
no,
and Spav,
no
you can't
more.
trust us as much, but Sean's on top.
Easy with the PA jokes. Yeah, but this guy is definitely not like ours.
I like the team we have over at Broken Arrow myself.
Yes.
Not to mention the football squad.
Man, if you've ever seen it inside there, I mean, it's like a big unit in there.
Kind of a well-oiled machine.
It is.
Second down and 2 here for Norman from the Broken Arrow 17. But Broken Arrow leading by 15 at this juncture in the game. 3:42 to play. Here's the snap. Alexander on the handoff. Not a lot of space. He's wrapped up and thrown backwards. Julius McVeigh got there first. Oh, and here's a late flag coming in. Goodness gracious. What was that one for?
There's a penalty marker down after the play.
It's not on McVeigh because he helped him up. So he was showing good sportsmanship.
You gotta be kidding me.
Dead ball. Personal foul on Broken Arrow.
Well, see, here's the thing is all these personal fouls, some of these kids need to be kicked out of the game.
Some of them are going to be kicked off the practice field to go run stadiums.
Well, I understand that.
Practice on Monday for sure. Maybe tomorrow. First and goal now for Norman from the 8. Here's the snap. Quick pass to the left side on the slant. It's broken up. Good coverage on the far side from R.J. Spears-Jennings.
Lee, that was great coverage. And, you know,
Spears
that was a
Jennings.
good ball thrown, too.
Yeah. It's the third pass he's broken up this year. He's got a couple of picks on his resume as well. He likes playing defense on the west side, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Had 2 interceptions in that game at Westmore, including the one that sealed the game.
Well, their mistake was going after him. They're going to sit there and challenge
Playing
RJ.
about a mile from where RJ will be playing football next year.
Mm-hmm.
Second down and 8, or second down and goal from the 8. Alexander takes the handoff left side inside the 5, and he's rocked at the 2. Spav, I got to be honest, I thought he was lowering his shoulder to go into the end zone, and Javion Franklin said, no, sir. He met him where he was.
Wow, that was an awesome hit.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
All the guys that I've talked to on Inside Tiger Football that have been defensive players have liked the same thing, and that's hitting somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Javion Franklin proved it on that one with quarterback sneak, but there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage right as the play started. It's third and goal from the 2. Did Norman not get set?
Somebody was.
Before the snap, offsides on Norman. So that'll move it back to third and goal from the 7.
Well, they tried to hurry up that offense for the quarterback sneak. They didn't. They need to practice it a little bit more.
Well,
that's kind of like the muddle huddle that we do.
Yep.
Is you gotta
be on point as a team if you're going to do that. 3rd and goal from the 7. Trips left on the short side of the field. The ball is near the left hash. Running back left, tight end right. Motion left to right. What's Norman going to throw at Broken Arrow here? Norman has to score. Here's a snap. Fade route to the near side. It is too high, incomplete. Good coverage on the near side. Was that Spears? No, it was not Spears Jennings. That was Javion Franklin in coverage that time. He gets dapped up by Jadaean Floyd Wright. It'll be 4th down and goal from the 7. 2:33 remaining. Fourth and goal. Tigers trying to seal the game. Whoa, heads up, lineman in motion from left to right here. Here's the snap. Fake handoff, dump pass over the middle. It's incomplete. A whole lot of contact. And believe it or not, there are no flags on the field.
Gosh.
Broken Arrow will get the football back on its own 7-yard line, getting the turnover on downs.
Oh, my gosh. We, tackled the guy.
There have, officially in the stat book, there have been 23 flags in this game. I cannot believe we did not see one there.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Of all the flags we've seen, that's probably the one that is, obvious. I mean, we just flat tackled that guy.
I guess give him credit for letting them play that time.
Yes. Their coaches are a little bit upset, I think.
I can't say that they don't necessarily have an argument.
I know that one coach.
It was kind of incidental contact, but that isn't supposed to matter if I understand the rule correctly. 1st and 10, Broken Arrow. Spav, this gets the feeling like Marion Horn might break a big one here, to be honest.
This will be the icing on the cake right here.
One receiver splits out to either side. Tigers have it on their own 6. Here's the snap. Hand off to Horn. Oh, he's wrapped up in the backfield, spun down sideways. It's a loss of a yard, back to the 5. That was not what I expected. 2:20 to play. Why is the clock not running? Did Norman take a timeout? Norman took a timeout. First time out of the half for Norman. Michon on the tackle.
Let's see, how many more timeouts do Norman have?
Norman has 2 more. The Tigers only have 1 remaining.
Right.
It'll be 2nd down and 11 for Broken Arrow from its own 5. And all you want to do here is play sound football. Frankly, even if you don't get a first down, you're gonna make them use all their timeouts.
Right, exactly.
And just punt it away. But Broken Arrow leads by 15 in a game that, frankly, has been it's been like watching somebody walk through mud in Waders or something. I mean, it's just been a slog of a game.
The last time I felt like this was Westmore.
Yeah.
It was just one of those games
very similar game.
Where we're playing well, but we just couldn't.
The difference, I feel like, Spav, in that game and this game, which is going to sound silly to say because Broken Arrow has 11 penalties for 91 yards, but I don't feel like the offense has shot itself in the foot quite as much in this game as it did in that Westmore game.
True.
And you didn't have Marion Horn running wild for 183 yards, which is also helpful.
It just seemed like Westmore, the officials took the tempo, the timing, everything away from the both teams.
Yeah.
Here it's just been sporadic. But it's because a lot of us fighting and bickering.
2nd and 11 from the 5. Oh, heads up, keeper for Sterling Ramsey over the right side. He's got a bunch of space. Off to the races to the 40, the right side to the 50, and he's still on the move, tracked down from behind and tackled at the Norman 40-yard line. The quarterback keeper on the QB read, he made the absolute correct read, and there was nothing but green in front of him for a long time.
Perfect read. Now, if that was Horn, he'd have been gone. You know.
They mark him down at the 39. Norman takes another timeout. And, well, the first half of this game, we played in an hour. We're at an hour and 15 minutes in the second half, and there's still timeouts being taken. So
it's still got 2 minutes left.
Well, it's going to end up being a 3-hour football game just about.
Right. But it's the penalties. And then they have to huddle up and figure out what they need to do.
Just saying, some of us have some nice, warm, cozy flannel sheets waiting for us when we get back home.
Exactly.
Problem is, I don't know if you guys have ever slept with flannel sheets. The house can be 25 degrees inside, but if I'm in flannel sheets, I'll wake up in a sweat.
Exactly.
Speaking of cold, the Tigers are trying to throw some ice on this game.
I know.
And it helped that Sterling Ramsey just broke a huge run. Ramsey has 4 carries for 77 yards now.
I thought he was so wide open, though. I mean, he could have scored a touchdown.
Honestly,
Spav,
just
a little bit more speed.
I almost wondered if he got caught on purpose.
Oh, I don't know.
Because he didn't run in a straight line. By the time he got by the defender, and he ended up veering kind of the right a little bit. 1st and 10, handoff to Horn. He's tripped up. Ankle tackled for no gain. Whoa. Is this near? Surely the official on the far side has the spot. Yeah, okay. The official on the near side was, I thought, marking him at the 39. No. He was not down at the 39-yard line.
You got to be kidding me.
Or 41. Yeah, he was down at about the 39. He at least made the 40. They've marked him all the way back at the 41.
Oh, my gosh.
I protest, sir.
Yes.
Another timeout taken by Norman. That's Norman's final timeout of the game. 2:02 remaining. Broken Arrow leads 28-13. Maybe Horn will just break a 41-yarder here and erase all doubt.
Mm-hmm.
His last touchdown came from 49 yards out. He needs 20 yards to eclipse the 200-yard mark for a 3rd consecutive game.
Right.
In any case, he's gotten 180-plus in 3 straight, and that's silly in and of itself.
Give him the ball. Let's go.
I'm honestly surprised they got to Horn that quickly after the big run from Ramsey. You'd have thought they'd have been trying to stay a little more sound on that possibility. 2nd down, and we'll call it 12. Sugar huddle. 2 receivers to either side. It's Kyrie Harris in the backfield. They hand him the ball straight up the middle. Nice run across the 35-yard line, knocked down forward to about the 32. That'll bring up 3rd down. And we may not see Marion Horn for the rest of the game. This might be a preserve your starting running back scenario.
Yeah.
Last week was costly enough for the Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
3rd down and 3. Clock will go under a minute and a half to play. The Tigers can actually get it down to about a minute 15 before they snap it if they would like. Sterling Ramsey gets the hard clap, and he got the motion. The umpire threw the flag, which is a little bit strange. Usually that comes from a sideline official. Oh, Broken Arrow moved. That is now 12 penalties for the Tigers. And Broken Arrow had been on a nice run of limiting penalties over the last few games.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't say it hasn't been evenly called. Norman also has 12 penalties for 128 yards. And again, both teams, I think we've had at least 3 times that we've had offsetting penalties that don't technically go into the stat book. Maybe even 4. 3rd down and we'll call it a long 7. Trips right. Hand out to Kyrie Harris, trying to turn the corner. Inside the 35, 1st down yardage to the 25. He breaks a tackle, heading up the right sideline, and he fumbles the football. It's loose in the end zone and picked up by Norman. I believe if that's the case, it's a touchback.
Oh, God.
We're still waiting for the official signal. Officials talking things over, and it is indeed a touchback, a fumble recovered by Norman. Norman gets the ball on its own 20-yard line, 1st and 10, but Broken Arrow still leads by 15.
Bless his heart. He made such a great run.
Oh, it was a great run. And credit the Norman defender for sticking his hand in there and knocking the ball out. I mean, that's the kind of play you still don't have a great chance to win the game if you're Norman, but that's the kind of play you absolutely had to have if you wanted to have any sort of a chance. Yeah, defense on the field one more time for Broken Arrow. 1st and 10, Norman from its own 20. Minute 10 to play. Broken Arrow by 15. Quick pass over the left side. It's caught at the 25-yard line, immediately tackled.
Good. Just keep everything underneath.
Yep. On the catch
they
that
don't
time
have
was
any
Max
timeouts.
Bass.
They have no timeouts.
Jalen Ramsey on the tackle that time.
See, we need to play. Yeah, we got the 2 deep there. You can see
Here's
that.
a snap. Quick pass to the left side again. Oh, big hit out of bounds. And again, that was Noah Butler with the big hit out of bounds over there.
Yeah, we're sticking them.
3rd down and 1. Trips right, 1 receiver left. Jalen Franklin a moment ago on the stop, by the way. Here's the snap on 3rd and 1. Pass over the middle. It is high but caught and brought down on a stumbling play at the 46-yard line. That'll move the chains for Norman. 40 seconds to play.
Oh, he's already wound the clock.
It's beneficial to Broken Arrow, I suppose. 1st and 10 from the 47 for Norman. Norman dropping back to pass. McClarty rolling right, still rolling right. Now tucks it, wants to run. Scampers out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. The kids below us that are Norman fans are trying to figure out why he didn't throw the ball down the field. I wasn't looking at the coverage. It was a decent gain, and he got out of bounds, so he made something out of it.
Yeah, he did a good job.
23 seconds to go. I basically had to stick my head out the window to see the scoreboard here. 2nd down and 3. Here's the snap. McClarty looking left. Needs to throw it. Tried to step up in the pocket. Now rolling left. Still rolling left. Now launches it up the field, and it is incomplete. The Tigers with good coverage down the field there. 15 seconds to play. Now the guys down below us are they're talking to us for some reason. I stood up so he could see my Broken Arrow logo on my jacket. Unfortunately, young man, I hate to tell you this, but I am not calling plays or choosing players for Norman Tigers.
He's saying they're saying he can't throw it.
He threw it okay there. Here's a quick pass to the near side. It's caught at the 40-yard line, out of bounds at the Broken Arrow. 38, 10 seconds to go. And this is, you're just bleeding clock if you're Broken Arrow at this point. Tigers are playing well. It is weird to see a 7 playing linebacker that's not Dietrich Bourne. That feels strange.
Right.
I'm going to be honest. Trips left. Here's the snap again. McClarty looking left, still looking left. Now flushed out of the pocket. There's a flag down, probably a hold. McClarty still looking left, needs to get rid of it, does so. It's caught on the far sideline with 1 second left on the clock. And there's a flag down, which will be a hold almost certainly, and bring it back to around the Broken Arrow 48-yard line. A nice play by McClarty to extend it, to be honest. Norman just needs about 5 more minutes of football on the clock, and they have 1 second.
And 5 more, and about 5 less flags, penalties.
We've still not marked off the hold here. The flag is down about 4 yards deep in the backfield. Now they move it now to 3 yards deep in the backfield. And it was 4 yards deep. So that turns out to be essentially a 14-yard penalty because it happened in the backfield.
Right.
Moves it all the way back into Norman territory at the 48-yard line.
Because we collapsed that pocket pretty well, Our D line is really pushing the pocket.
4 straight wins now for the Broken Arrow Tigers, including the big one at home last week against Santa Fe. McClarty decides to tuck it and run across the 40-yard line, makes a bit of a business decision and scampers out of bounds at the 35.
I was going to say, why did he run out of bounds? It's no time left.
That'll end the game. 28-13. The Broken Arrow Tigers win it over Norman tonight. Broken Arrow has won 4 in a row and is now 6-3 on the year, 5-1 in district play. And the Tigers have just about, I'll have to do some math, but have just about wrapped up home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs with this win.
Correct.
So
we play Enid next week. Then we'll play a first round of playoffs. And again, it could be, depending on what happens, it could be playing a Wausau in the first round.
Oh, my. That had not occurred to me. That would be an interesting rematch. Let's go down to where is Madison Dildine? Let's go down to the sidelines in Madison Dildine. Madison?
Yeah, guys. Coach, a lot of good looks from Sterling tonight. What did you like from him?
Some things on defense. force us to get a little creative. And honestly, sometimes it's the opposite. Got to take some shots and hit the shots, but then if we're going to run the ball, we had to get pretty creative there.
Defense had a lot of big stops, critical moments. What were your thoughts on them tonight?
As frustrating as it was, giving up, stupid penalties and big plays in there, they're really playing with a lot of injuries right now, and so there were a lot of new guys in different spots. That's not an excuse, but that being said, it makes you proud that they found a way to hold a really good offensive team to 15 points.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Madison and Coach Blankenship. The Tigers win it, of Broken Arrow that is, 34-13 tonight. And Spav, for a game that felt, hold on, it's 28-13. So the final score is 28-13. For a game that felt like such a drag throughout the course of that game, and not a lot of rhythm, not a lot of momentum for Broken Arrow, the Tigers were able to find a way to win and kind of put the game away down the stretch. They held Norman scoreless in the fourth quarter. So even though it was an imperfect game, there were a lot of good things that came out of this game for Broken Arrow. And, of course, you get to go home to Broken Arrow with a win.
And Coach Blankenship said it just right. He said it had a lot of different personnel and different positions. And the first time that they started, and I'll tell you what, he was proud of them, and so are we, because they made some plays when we needed to make them.
Looks like Norman naming their MVP, and I think it might be senior night for Norman as well. So Broken Arrow, again, comes up with the win. The Tigers, you let Tyus McClarty get loose for 217 yards. Devin Alexander ran for 118 yards, so Norman ran the ball pretty well, but you were able to limit Norman through the air, 8 for 16 for 85 yards, and then offensively you made enough plays to win it. We didn't see the big plays like we've been seeing kind of consistently over the last few weeks. Even against Santa Fe we saw that for the Broken Arrow offense, but it doesn't hurt to have a game where you run into some adversity offensively and you have to just kind of keep plugging.
Exactly, and I think that's what Coach Blankenship was saying, the fact with all the penalties, the adversity we had. Think about some of these drives where we were backed up and then all of a sudden to get a penalty or do something, and then we advance stuff. So we really had an interesting game because of these penalties, and we fought a lot of adversity. And, I'm proud of the kids, too, the way they performed.
Let's go over to Madison Dildine. Madison, what are your final observations from the sideline over there?
Yeah, guys, this is going to be kind of transparent, but in my opinion, I think that we just need to learn to adjust quicker in those moments of adversity, but that's just going to come with experience.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that had to deal with the fact that it had a lot of new players in position as well. But, I could see a lot of the halftime adjustments. We did some things. The kids played hard. You could see that they played hard, and they were very physical. But the biggest thing is what we have to be real ready for next week, especially, is if we get into these a lot of chippy type verbal action between player and player, we have to understand that it's going to be real vital for us not to get these penalties, because that could be a 2-game suspension.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Spav, what stands out to me here is when it came right down to it, your playmakers made plays.
Exactly.
And you got Marion Horn that broke the big 49-yard touchdown run. Sterling Ramsey had the 56-yarder to move the chains and put the game away at the end there. You had some big plays defensively. You saw R.J. Spears-Jennings catch a touchdown pass that helped create some separation. Spears-Jennings had a big defensive play on this end of the field that stopped a touchdown as well. So when it came right down to it, and when the rubber hit the road, so to speak, your playmakers stepped up and made the plays necessary to win, and that's what it's going to take moving forward.
Absolutely, and that's what you got to do. You got to find ways. Without all these players, we've got to find ways to perhaps hide some athletes and perhaps highlight some athletes. We have to really break this film down carefully to figure out what we need to do.
Our final score tonight, Broken Arrow wins it over Norman, 28-13. A big thank you to everyone for helping put this broadcast on tonight. We had several students running cameras and pushing buttons. Antonio Hurling was our director tonight, our engineer Terry Sprider. Jeremy Bryan, our spotter. The expert stats man, Skip Hyde. Madison Dildine on the sidelines. Steve Spavital to my right. I'm Adam Hildebrandt. Again, your final score, Broken Arrow 28, Norman 13. The Tigers return home for senior night next week, so we'll see you next Friday at Tiger Memorial Stadium. I'm Adam Hildebrandt saying good night and God bless from Norman.